Dallas Cowboys on 3. Make it loud. 1, 2, 3. Dallas Cowboys.
Snap back to Prescott. He's going deep. Down the right side. Over the shoulder for Bryant. Perfect. All the way down and around the 25-yard line of the Eagles.
Get the right kind of guys here. High standards. Work your ass off every day. High accountability. Okay? And then it shows up on Sunday.
Out of the gun, back to Dak. He's taking another shot in the end zone. And Dez! Left side of the end zone. Touchdown, Dez Bryant. Looking lit out. He starts up the middle. Now he pulls it back. Now he peels around left. Now he throws it in the end zone. Jason Witten. Touchdown. Cowboys win.
You love them or you hate them, but you will tune in and turn in to see what people are saying about them. That's why they call America's team.
How about this, Cowboys?
Selected to make the Cowboys second-round draft pick, and on behalf of the 5-time world champion Dallas Cowboys, Hall of Fame owner Jerry Jones, T. Jones and the Jones family, Coach Jason Garrett, all the Cowboy players that played before me, that played with me, and played after me, with the second pick, 60th pick in the second round. The Dallas Cowboys select defensive back from Colorado, Chidobe Awuzie.
What's up, everybody?
How about them Cowboys?
I mean, he should have ended that with "How about them Cowboys, man?"
Yeah,
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
What's up, Cowboy fans? This is Big Game James.
JK.
Producer G cooking it up like he did as he brought the Drew Pearson, now legendary announcement of the 60th pick for the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know about y'all, but I had chills, and it was so much better. Like, if he did it in Washington, I'd have felt good. If he would have did it anywhere else, but the fact that he did it in Philly, them hating
That
fans
much
that they
better.
got over there, and they got no championships, to just rub it in their face, that was like the ultimate. What's up? Ryan Dye, got to give you your shout out. What's up, Big Dewan? And we're going to talk about draft today. I don't know
Joseph in the
about
house,
y'all.
too? Yep.
I don't know about you.
What about me?
Hey, check this out. Y'all see these dog tags right here? These are my father's. My father passed away 7 years ago now, and he was the one that got me Cowboys. We were born and raised Cowboys since the 70s. Me, my dad in the 60s, and I know he would have been just loving this draft. So big shout outs to you, Dad. Them Cowboys are doing their thing. We
Big
did it
thanks.
last year, getting Zeke Elliott, Tapper, Jalen Smith, Collins, Brown.
Loading
We
up that defense.
I mean, we loaded
Young,
up on offense.
talented
We got those
kids.
players that we needed, and defense. Did we strike ever?
Whew.
I mean, if you're a Cowboys fan and you're not excited about this draft, something's wrong with you, because we did what we were supposed to do. And I love, to me, Stephen Jones. To me, I'm just loving him, the way he's so shrewd and what he did. I almost thought he dropped the ball. I told you, almost losing Xavier Woods, because I've been screaming him for the last 2.5 weeks. I did not want to lose him when we picked Ryan Switzer, but I'm glad he was shrewd enough to go up to 20 picks and give that trade away and get Xavier Woods. I thought that was like the icing on the cake for me.
You done?
Yeah, I'm done. I love the Cowboys, man. I'm geeked up.
Woo!
Yes.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
You
know what I mean?
Deep breath in.
Sorry.
Catch back up from that one.
Catch back up.
Welcome. We are going to talk the draft.
We're going to talk the draft. You know what I'm
Taco
saying?
was a little divisive, man.
I think
he made some people love him or some people
I think
hate him, man.
A lot of
What do
people
you-
were.
what do you think?
I think a lot of people are half and half on him. We've been airing about 4 shows now, and we talked about Taco like maybe the first couple shows that, you know, he was a draft pick that we would like. But when we talked about even last week that he compared similar to David Irvin, we didn't know if we already needed another player like that, because we already have a player in Irvin, and he has the similar characteristics of him. I think the only thing that people worried about with Taco is just his inconsistent. He doesn't have that. I'm not saying he has a consistent motor, but he's not dominant, it seems like, every play. And I think that's what worried about people. And his get off. His get off isn't super fast off
If
the
he
line.
doesn't get off the ball,
Right.
he's slow.
He's slower.
One thing I watched a lot of his highlights where it was just, you know, he's getting to the quarterback. Maybe it's because of his slow 40 times. He's a half second away from getting sacks, but he is disruptive, and he is causing, with his pressure, bad footwork, bad throws, and he is, making an impact in the pass rush. But he's a better run stopper.
Yes,
he's pretty good playing the end and stopping the run. So with the run defense we had last year, add him in there. I don't think we're gonna miss a beat if he ends up playing. He might end up starting, or at least definitely being in the rotation right away.
Exactly, and that's what we want. I see some of you guys. Shout out to all the Cowboy fans that are chiming in. We love all y'all. We're glad y'all tuning in. We're going to have a good show. We're talking about the after draft. We're talking about the players. You're going to see them in the background right here. All the players that we drafted, you're going to see them, and you're going to see their highlights, which you already seen on the page.
So
shout out to all the guys. So I'm going to just give you, we're going to break down each one of the players, but let me just, since y'all already asking right now, y'all already asking for the grade right now. Me personally, I'm going to give the Cowboys a B+. I'm not going to give them an A right now, because the A is those guys working out on the field to me. I'm going to give a B++, because we addressed our needs. We addressed a defensive lineman. Everybody was like, why do we need another one? We got 9. You can never have two things in my heart on a defense. You can never have enough. You can never have enough defensive linemen, and you can never have enough cornerbacks. Right. Because at the end of the day, injuries happen. Those guys are playing in the trenches. Those guys get injured more than anything else. And then if you have an ankle injury, anything like that, you lose a top cornerback, it messes up your whole rotation of what you're trying to do going forward. And teams see a rookie come in, or maybe a rookie that's not good, they're going to attack him instantly. The really good quarterbacks, the Aaron Rodgers, the Eli Mannings, the Drew Brees, those guys see those rookies come in, they come after you instantly. Yeah. Brown saw it a little bit last year when Scandrick went down. They attacked him.
There was, what was it, the Eagles game? He got hit with that double move.
Yeah,
he got made to look like a fool. It might have been the Giants game, one of the Giants games, but he got cooked.
And they went after him.
And they went after him, and he proved himself that game.
Yeah.
After he got hit with that double move, the rest of the season he played pretty much lights out, especially for a 6th-round pick.
Especially for a 6th-round pick.
Now we're looking at, like you said, Steven drafting, and we're looking at hitting probably 2 of the best back-to-back 6th-round draft picks in the NFL draft history, maybe, potentially. I mean, obviously it's a little early for Xavier Woods and stuff, but
the kids are playing.
He looks like an animal.
Yeah, I like, and I hear what you're saying, Joseph. They stayed to the board. They said they got 5 of their 70 picks in that draft. And
that's why I guess I should probably do my grade too.
All right, give it a grade.
I'd probably go somewhere around a BB+, just because they drafted where they needed to. Like I kind of agree with G, where I wish we would have gone with one of the DBs in the first round, but out of necessity, I think we had to get one of the better pass rushers that was left, because there were so many DBs in the second round, and there was only going to be 1 or 2 defensive ends. And, I think we got somebody that can make more of an impact in the first round of Taco than somebody we potentially would have got in the second round at that position. So give him a B, depending on how Taco turns out. And I think, if he impresses the way I think he potentially could, that draft's easily bumped up to an A. That's a solid draft all the way through.
I think the only thing that people were probably going back and forth with Taco was T.J. Watt was available. And honestly, with all the linemen that we had, T.J. Watt would have been good for us. I mean, because he's just a football player. So I think a lot of people wanted that Watt explosiveness, that attitude, Watt with the genes.
That's what I think more people were upset about than actually picking Taco, was passing on Kevin King, passing on T.J. Watt, passing on Reuben Foster. And, we kind of talked about that earlier. Reuben Foster, I think he was risky. We've already done that with Randy Gregory. We've had too many players that have
That's the only reason why we didn't touch him.
Right, and we, like you said, with kind of why we didn't touch Sidney Jones.
Yes, we
don't need those players right now. We need players that can come in and play, and most of the players that we got were pretty consistently on the playing field. They weren't injured.
Right,
most of them are good character guys, with the exception of Mr. Lewis that we got, but supposedly that stuff's going to hopefully get cleared up, and we'll see.
He says he's 100% innocent, so and you're innocent to prove guilty.
Right,
so
and
just gotta let the courts run its course with that, because I'm not judgmental in any of that. So
that's what the courts are for. That's not my job.
You know what I mean? So it's not my place to judge. But as you said before, when you get these type of guys, and we stay true to the board, but like you said before, with Foster, I wanted him just because of the talent.
Right,
but
who doesn't?
We've already dealt with that with Randy Gregory. We see a possible another drug suspension with him. We don't know for sure, but it could be another possible drug suspension with that.
Foster made his way through the whole first round, so that tells me that
other people,
32 teams passed on him in the first round.
We're thinking the same thing.
And he's an animal.
He's an animal.
There's something there that's telling them, not right now.
But if you look at it, Foster going to the Niners could afford Foster doing that because they're rebuilding. we have the type of team that we're ready to win now.
Right.
We're trying to make these guys now. And as to your point, we said why we didn't get the Sidney Jones, not because we didn't want a Sidney Jones.
Right.
We can't keep having redshirt players.
We've got some similar
we got the
players
players
here.
now. We have to make the run now. Yes, we can be built for the long run, but if we got the players that are becoming in their prime right now, we need to attack and get it right now. We don't need the redshirt players. Philadelphia can get a Sidney Jones and let him sit down.
Right.
They can afford that.
And
They're
man,
not going
did
to
they
challenge
have-
for the NFC East. I don't see that happening.
They had a nice draft, though, and their defense is going to have some young studs on it. I hate that they got Derek Barnett.
Yeah, they got Derek. They got Douglas.
That they got Sidney Jones, and I hate that they got Russell Douglas. And you know who else? I'm hating the Raiders.
Yeah, the Raiders, and we
Man,
played
they were just like, you know what? You guys said you like Garyon Conley. We were listening to the show last week.
Exactly.
Like, you like Garyon Conley, we'll take him.
You like Obi?
You like Obi?
We're going to take him.
Yep.
But
So
you look at a lot of those people, they were saying the same thing probably about, us. I mean, all I can do is I can look at we stayed true to what we did, and that's the biggest thing to me. So let's go ahead and
I think that's the other thing too that could potentially change my draft grade is if Lewis ends up getting in some trouble from that and
Right.
end up not getting any value out of that pick,
Right.
then that would obviously maybe make that grade go down.
Exactly.
So, but this is always it'll be fun to come back maybe in 3 years and look at this. We should start doing that and just looking because we've had some good draft classes lately.
And we've been hitting. If you look at our last 5 drafts, we've hit on our first rounders. We had Dez Bryant, we had Travis Frederick, we had Zach Martin. Byron Jones.
We've just been killing it.
We've been killing it on the first round, especially at the end of the draft. So I think when you're getting, definitely touchdown on that one. But let's jump into the players right quick. We're gonna break them down. The fans, y'all jump in and let's talk.
Got Mr. Salgado. What's up, everybody? He
What's
said
up,
Raiders.
Cowboy
I mean, they
fans?
had a good draft. I don't know if that's what he's saying. If he's a Raiders fan, I mean, that's cool, too. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, we appreciate the haters. So jump on in. We can talk.
I mean, he's not hating. He can watch it if he wants,
It's all good. It's all good. Dallas Cowboy for life. But let's talk about Taco Charlton first. We actually got to see
Pete,
Charlton
Paul,
a lot
Antoine, what's
because, number one, he came from our area high school out here, Pickerington Central High School. So we know him well. He's an area kid from out here. First of all, Pickerington Central has a very good football program. They have another kid that was actually on a high school show that we have, the Central Ohio High School show. We actually had a kid named Morgan Ellison from Pickerington Central. He played 1 year, a senior. And he's going to Indiana University, and he is going to play there. So that just goes to show you what kind of program they bring. If you can go from just playing 1 year and going to the starting at being a commit to OU to Indiana, jumping in and taking you, and you going to the Big Ten. So they put out players. And if you look at his stats, freshman year, 0 sacks. Sophomore year, 3.5. Junior year, 5.5. Senior year, what it seems like he put it all together. And the biggest thing that shows me is the coaching. We all know what Harbaugh brings to the table as far as he coaches hard. He wears his players out. He runs them hard.
The other thing to look at besides the fact that he progressively got better every year that he played football in college at a Big Ten school.
Yes. Big Ten, no matter what you say, Big Ten is a good school.
That's impressive to me. Because he's learning, he's getting coached. But if you look at his tape from last year, the games that you watch are Ohio State, Florida State, and he's getting 5.5, 6 sacks combined in those 2 games against the best competition in college football. So, you hear people talk about Myles Garrett. Maybe he's lazy. He got 4 of his sacks against, scrub teams. Maybe this is something that we're not seeing. That's why we're not scouts in the NFL, and Brian Broaddus is.
Well, hey, I'm a pretty good scout. I took scouting classes, and I got a degree with it, so I don't know about you.
What the dog?
I do, so there
He's
you
big
go.
game James
I
for a
coached
reason.
there, and I scout, so I have the pedigree a little bit, tiny bits. Just like throw that out there. So it's not just a fan over here.
I didn't even know we were bringing our horns to toot today.
I had it. I'm
I would
tooting
have brought my own, too.
Anyway, so like I said, Taco
I like
Charlton.
Jonathan's question down there.
What do you say?
Said, he's second round, but why does the dude jump all the time? Which dude you talking about? You talking about? That wasn't the question I was looking at. And it tricked me because it jumped right there.
You must have tricked you.
It did.
I'm still going with Charlton because
No, that's Joseph. He said he was talking about a player in the draft that will make the most impact right off the bat.
Yeah.
That's the one. Sorry, buddy.
Who's going to make the impact right off the bat? Mm-hmm. I'm going to say I think Charlton's going to make a big impact, and I think I'm not going to call him Shadibe. I'm calling him Uzi. That's my name. He's the Uzi. So our name right now, he's straight Uzi to me because I think that because of he's not really have great ball skills, but he's a technician to me. He has good size, and I think he's going to be a big-time blitzer. We talked about that, how Marinelli loves to bring that blitz with his cornerbacks, where Skandrick has been
Got
killing
that size,
it.
Man.
He has the size. He's a lot bigger than Skandrick, thicker, 6 foot,
He takes
200,
a lot of hard hits,
200 pounds, solid, and he's a great blitzer. Had 7 sacks in the last 2 years, 5 of them coming out the slot. So that brings, so you can only imagine if we keep Skandrick and we see Skandrick and Uzi coming off the edge with those timely blitzes, that gets me even more excited. And now we got guys in the back end, Jalen Smith, Tapper, if they're healthy. That now you're looking at an exciting combo, and then you can still throw in David Irving. You can still throw in a Malik Collins. Now you're starting to get excited about the defense because now you got playmakers. Because it looks like to me we got playmakers. Guys who are aggressive. If you look at the Jordan Lewis, if you look at Uzi, if you look at Woods, and even if you look at a cornerback, Marquise White, those are guys that all were competitive players, tough-minded players, and that's the type of players Garrett and our team wants to have. Tough-minded, mentally strong players.
So who's going to have the most impact right off the bat?
I'm gonna say Uzi.
Right.
I'm gonna say Uzi.
Hey, everybody watching right now, put where you're watching from in the comments. How about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys? Now, I was listening to Ricky. Now, I personally, I'm listening to your question. I wanted bigger corners because that was the biggest thing with me. That's why I was mad when we didn't get a Douglas and the Eagles took him right after us, because this was my theory with the big corner. If you had if we keep Skandrick, right, and we kept Anthony Brown, let's say you had a Douglas on the outside, and then you slide Uzi back as a safety, pairing him with Byron Jones.
That's why everybody wanted Kevin King, though, because he was the 6'3" corner. They wanted, big guy to match up with Alshon Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall.
We have big corners, but we have an Odell Beckham. We got those small guys too.
Right.
I mean, you got Pryor over at Washington. You got the smaller guys with Crowder, and then you got the other guy coming back from last year who was injured. They're going to be a problem. So we still had to have the cornerback depth to match, because you can never have too many corners. That's why I like that they came with Marquise White, because at the end of the day, the Cowboys want to create competition.
Yeah.
So
I think Xavier Woods can start right away too.
I think he can too. I think Xavier Woods is going to be a problem. I loved his tape. I loved him. Brian Broaddus, one of the scouts for Cowboys, and he does blogs for the Dallas Cowboys. He had thrown him out there weeks ago, and I started watching his tape, and I fell in love with the kid because he's aggressive. He's a playmaker. If you look in his last 3 years, had 14 interceptions, 5 returns for touchdowns. That's amazing when you think about that.
He's a very impressive young kid. He hits so hard. The highlights, they didn't show a lot of his wrap up tackles, but he does wrap up pretty well. His highlight reel is his big booming throwing shoulders into people, but he does wrap up pretty well. And he just seems like he's always around the ball. We were watching the video, it just always gets to him, and that's not a bad thing to have.
Here, look at him.
This isn't a bad thing to have happen. The ball just ends up to you, and then what do? You scamper for 50 yards.
Y'all
score,
seen that tape? Y'all seen that tape, and y'all was excited. You know what I'm saying? So, jumping off, like I said, with Taco Charlton, getting ready to leave off of him. I think the biggest thing with Charlton is they want him to be consistent, maybe get a little bit stronger. He is 6'6", he's 275, but I would like to see him bulk up a little more. But when you have Ron Marinelli that can coach you up, that's why I think he takes good to hard coaching, because you had a Harbaugh the year before, and look what the coaching brought out of him: 9.5 sacks, things he hadn't did before. Harbaugh brings the coaching. You come in with Marinelli, who's going to coach you up.
Yep.
Our strength and conditioning program is out of this world, so he's going to get stronger. And to me, some people said I don't know about that, but to me, he compares to a Chris Canty. I remember when we got Chris Canty out of Virginia, I was excited because I saw 6'7", I saw 290 pounds, and he fit so well with the Marcus Ware and Marcus Spears and Ratliff. And honestly, Canty had a very serviceable career. He went to the Giants and was very good. He went to the Ravens and was good. I was actually mad when we didn't re-sign him, because I knew he was going to. He went right to the Giants, and didn't he get a Super Bowl with the Giants?
Yep.
Went right to the Giants and got a Super Bowl, and he was a key person on their defensive line with the Giants.
Do you see Adrian? He said Xavier Woods and Byron Jones back there. Oh my God, amazing! I mean, I cannot agree much more, because, like we said earlier, you don't know which one's playing free safety or strong safety. You can
they're
bring pressure
interchangeable
either way, and that you can mess with everybody at that point. It makes your defense that much better. They're both so versatile. I think that puts us in a good position. I'm looking forward to that too.
When you see those guys, those teams going 4 or 5 wide or empty backfields, now we're not scared. Like, dang, we don't have nobody that can cover these guys.
Right.
Now we got aggressive young playmakers that want to get off the ball.
Woods brings the boom, but he doesn't get lost in coverage.
Exactly.
So that's one of the biggest things about getting him in the 6th round, man. That was a steal. Like you said, we probably should have grabbed him in the 4th, but luckily we were scouting him harder than everybody else.
That's the producer G. If you're asking who did the video in the back, that's the producer G. I mean, he's the one that's all cooking up, but he's incognito. We can't let you see him. That's the producer G. So he's the silent man and everything. He just cooks it all up. We put it together, but that's the cooker. He cooks it all up. So that's why you should always like the page, tune in the page, because he's always going to be cooking up. He's Voltron.
Where's that page
forms
at?
the head.
Where's that page at? You guys know where the Facebook is. Get on the Twitter, get the YouTube. SB Nation 17.
There it goes.
The SilverBlueNation.com.
There
Get on the website. Producer G also cooked that up pretty nice too.
He cooked it up. So check out our website. It's really thorough, clean, precise. We're gonna even have more detailed information on there. So make sure you check out the website because producer does his job. That's the producer.
Walk the dog. Put his leash up on the
He walks the dog
Give
all
him
the
a
time.
bowl of water. Take him to the groomer. Walk him again. Holy cow.
See what I'm saying? He walking that dog.
Walking that dog.
But if we jump in, as you're going to see the highlights, they're going to continue to roll. We were talking about Charlton. I definitely think with his rotation with the defensive line, Tapper comes back. Like I said, you don't find 6'6", 275-pound guys just around the corner. You don't find that. And he has really, his arms are like almost 35 in length. Those are very long arms. So that's batting the balls down. Look at what J.J. Watt. Everybody talks about his aggressiveness, but look how many batted balls he had.
It's not necessarily sacks. It's quarterback pressures that we're after, and that's what I think. I think Taco will have an impact on that. And I don't remember exactly who it was, but somebody said something about having two David Irvings on the field at one time.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Is that bad?
No, that's not. People are comparing him to Taco Charlton. I don't know if this is. Well, I don't know what y'all think about this comparison, but a lot of people have compared Charlton to Justin Tuck from the Giants, because Tuck didn't come in dominating when he came in from Notre Dame, but the longer his career came on,
G said Jason Pierre-Paul. That's a good
size.
Very similar. I mean,
I don't think he has the get off like Pierre-Paul, but he has the size. Definitely.
Right, but I think he can be coached a little bit in that aspect too. I think he's got potential, and I've always said potential just means you haven't done it yet. So let's see if somebody can bring it out of him. And
you see the potential's already oozing. You don't start at 0 sacks your freshman year, and people also forget at Michigan he played behind a guy named Frank Clark. Who plays for the Seattle Seahawks, who I actually wanted to get when he came out the draft, but I knew we weren't going to touch him because he had that DV or whatever over his head, and that's why we didn't touch him. But Frank Clark got like 10 sacks.
Yeah, he's just an unpolished pass rusher, and that's what excites me. Is he's
getting better,
and
he hasn't topped out.
Yeah, he has not
reached the ceiling
at all. He's got tons of ability to become more impactful, and I think it's going to happen.
If you really look at Charlton's career, you should be even more excited because he is just barely tapped his potential.
He's going to be watching film with DeMarcus Ware and Charles Haley.
Exactly. How can you not get any better? And the thing that you want to have on the defensive line is a rotation. You really don't want your guys playing every single down. You want to have that rotation to keep them fresh, because then when it's third down and you can bring your straight pass rushers in, or like a UFO type defense where you're coming in off the edges, those guys are fresh. You get after the quarterback.
Defensive tackle from Colorado we got is probably going to be just a pass rush specialist for us. Probably see him on third down.
And even the kid Ivy,
big nasty.
Even the kid Ivy
might play a little bit more. I think he'll be just a solid career
Nick Hayden
for us, but body,
another guy in the rotation. And if you look at our late round picks, they stay with us. If you're a person that we signed for a year or two deal and you come in as a 7th rounder, that 7th rounder can beat you out. We're not committed to you if you're a 2-year contract player. We're not committed to you. If that 7th round guy comes in and beats you out, you're going to leave. And we have plenty of players that have been on Dallas's roster that have made moves when on Dallas Day, on free agents. So if you come in as a free agent with the Cowboys, you can make the team. If you play hard and show a little bit of skills, you can make the team and make an impact with us. It's been proven time and time again.
What do you think about us not taking a tight end in the draft? There's been some little chatter about that around interwebs. I
think I'm not too hurt on that because, number one, I think we can get one as a free agent. Look what happened when we got Swain at the end of the draft. Look what we did with Gathers. We got those guys.
They did bring in the kid from Oklahoma State, I think, for undrafted free agent tight end. He's like 6'5", 220 or 260, 270 or something like that.
I think the only thing we may have looked at, maybe an offensive tackle in the late rounds. There was a kid from Bucknell that we really wanted, and I think somebody snatched him right before us. I think that's somebody we wanted to get. Also, maybe a quarterback. We did get an undrafted free agent as a quarterback. Yeah. But I still would rather have a
shout out real quick. That's Austin Appleby. He went the same high school I did. I mean, about 10 years after me, but North Canton, Ohio.
He's a dink and dunk quarterback.
A dink and dunk. Yeah, he played it for 4 years at Purdue and then transferred to Florida for a year. So I mean, the kid's 6'5", and he's good. He's good size. He's like 230. think he could potentially be a decent backup for us. I don't know if he's gonna be a starter, but
But he has good size, and he's bigger than Kellen Moore.
And
That's
he
the
grew
biggest
up in
thing.
a really cool town, so
That's the biggest thing to me. He's a big quarterback, and he's not little like
he's not Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore is what, 6 foot, barely 190.
He's 5'10", barely 190.
Okay,
with the pads on.
Probably so. But like I said, first round pick. What do you think, G? I want to hear your opinion on it, G, because you were the one that was a little bit suspect on the pick. You tell me what you think about Charlton.
Well, I wasn't very happy about it at first, but then we heard the news about Randy Gregory, and then I thought to myself, okay, well, maybe they knew about this, before the draft, and that justified the pick. But then it comes out Jerry didn't know about the Randy Gregory thing. At least that's what he's saying. And now, after the whole draft was over, though, I'm happy with it because, I guess he was probably the best pass rusher available at that point that was left, so. Unless maybe that I like that Bowers guy too, or the Bowser guy that went in the second round.
Tyus Bowser.
I thought he was a nice pass rusher.
The Patriots ended up getting him.
I was disappointed, the first day, but after the second round, we addressed the defensive backs. I felt a lot better about it. But we have such a deep defensive line. It's just I just don't know how much we needed it.
I think the reason why if you listen to Jason Garrett all the time, he's always talking about creating competition. He's always talking about creating competition. Yep. And I think that when you got 10 defensive linemen, right? Somebody's got to think, I'm not going to play. Or somebody's got to think, I might not make the team. Right. So that's going to make you play harder. It's going to make the best out of you because now you don't feel like I got a guaranteed spot on this team. Just because you had 6 sacks or 5 sacks last year doesn't mean you have a guaranteed spot coming into next year.
I think they kind of proved that last year. Whoever's playing well,
whoever's playing the best
is going to
be on the field.
Well,
and that's what Marinelli.
Teams are going to have an eye on us this preseason because whoever we cut, it's going to be because we're really deep.
Yeah, everybody. It's going to be the same thing as every year. People picking up our scraps off the practice squad, and all of our cuts. They're going to get looked at. We're deep.
Next year, we're going to have a bunch of compensatory picks from all the losses from this season.
Mm-hmm. And I bet those get dealt to wheel and deal and move up and get somebody they really want somewhere. But.
Well, I hear Adrian. He says, do we think Switzer will replace Dunbar on third and along the backfield?
Nope, Zeke plays.
I don't think so. I think honestly, I think Switzer's role is going to be slot receiver if we go 4 or 5 wide, and he'll be out there with Beasley. But I think his main thing is going to be a kick returner and a punt returner because he has no fear.
Replace Dunbar?
Yeah, I don't see him.
Dunbar was never anything.
When's the last time Dunbar was on the field?
Dunbar was never anything. Don't even.
He's gonna. I think he
was never a factor ever.
No, he's gonna replace Lucky Whitehead. That's what that would be. Lance Dunbar, man, he should have been replaced last year by Darius Jackson. That's still a soft one. I hate that.
I think Lucky Whitehead was put on notice that we tried with you for the last 2 years.
And then Bryce Butler.
We try to, Bryce Butler
got put on that 1 year notice.
We got Noah Brown, and like I said, if you look at what they're doing, they're creating competition. Bryce Butler, you came back on a 1 year deal. We may sign you longer, but guess what? We have somebody behind you just because you don't make it. And they got another kid. How
much more obvious is that for them, though?
They got another kid named Jones, Adam Jones, I believe. He was a guy on our practice squad last year. He's 6'3". They have high hopes for him too. He's 6'3", 225 pounds too. So there's no guaranteed spots on our team, and competition will be created. And if the only people have guaranteed spots are on that offensive line with our core players, Zeke, Dak, those type of guys, Dez Bryant. But if you're not like one of those players that have those big contracts right now with us, your spot can be gone. And that's just what it is. You're auditioning for a spot. If you don't make the cut, you're going to be gone.
Yeah, you're a receiver. You get a 1 year contract, and they draft somebody same size, if not bigger than you.
It's a wrap.
You better do something or else you're not coming back. That writing is on the wall. Bryce Butler, if you don't see it.
Lucky Whitehead, Bryce Butler, if you don't see this, Dunbar, if you didn't see why we cut all those secondary players, we mean business. Yep. Stephen Jones and these guys mean business. We're not going to keep waiting year after year like, let's wait till next year. No, the time is now.
No, we got a 10-year window. we got a 10-year window. We're good.
I'm not ready for that yet.
Yeah.
If anybody watching,
Benjamin Jones, I'm telling you, Andy Jones.
Shout outs here. I see Demetrius Riddle,
my bad.
Paul Wise,
Andy Jones. I know who it was though. He's a big receiver. I know who he is. I didn't get the name right, but I know who he is. Andy Jones. Sorry about that. My bad, but I know who he is. He was on the practice squad last year, and that's good as far as him being a player next year. So
if you're watching the video, share it for us. Spread it out. Let's get a bunch of people in here.
Yeah,
talking Cowboys.
All your Cowboys fans, friends know about Silver Blue Nation.
Okay.
That's where they got to be.
Okay.
Facebook,
No, Antoine, we're not pursuing Josh Gordon. Just already get that out your head. I mean,
I don't think they're pursuing him, but
I don't think, first of all, Cleveland's going to let him go. They're going to hang on him like Randy Gregory, like we are with Randy Gregory. They're not letting go of him.
So
let's just move past the Josh Gordon thing. We have receivers. We have guys that are – we just got Noah Brown. I think we're set with our receivers. We're set with our team. Now we have these guys. Now it's about competition. It's not about getting any more, signing any more free agents with money we got in our cap. Stephen Jones is not doing that. He is not signing any more free agents. We got the free agents we got. We're in the draft. We're not doing anything else. We're going to build from
Pryor.
I don't think
I'm hearing the rumblings.
I don't think so. Now with us getting Xavier Woods,
we got a guy
I think
like
they
him
really solidified things with us getting Xavier Woods. You don't trade up 20 spots and a fifth-round pick. And your next year fifth to not say we're not going to – why would you trade for Pryor if you just traded your fifth-round pick to them and then you trade up 20 spots? You just defeated the purpose of doing the trade. Right. There's no need to get Pryor now. Now you groom Woods and see what he does. Now you put him out there with Heath. Now you put him out there with Kavion Frazier. Now you see who's going to be out there starting. Woods and Jones, I'm not mad at that combination, and you can still slide Uzi back there, who we're about to talk right now.
Yep. I can see that's when they first drafted Uzi. That's what I initially thought was they're going to move him back to safety next to Jones, but then they drafted Woods. I'm like, oh no, Uzi's going to get a play outside probably. But then again, you got to think Jordan Lewis might be the one playing the outside because he is in hip pockets, man.
He's a hip pocket, but I think he's better a hip pocket slot corner because of his size. I think he will be. He's like a Scandrick to me, but nastier because, well, I'm not going to even say not nastier because Scandrick, when he came in, he's always had that chip on the shoulder. Remember, Scandrick came in as a fifth-round pick. I believe he came in the same draft with
Anthony Brown. Really had the chip on. He
had a chip on the shoulder.
Did you see what he did? I'm sorry to interrupt you. Did you see what Anthony Brown did?
Yeah.
He got Lay's potato chip tattooed on his shoulder.
Yeah. He got the chip on his shoulder. I mean, that's real serious.
He got a chip on his shoulder.
He got a chip on his shoulder for real. But if you look at Scandrick, he came in, I believe, the same time Mike Jenkins came in, and he felt like he should have been starting. And honestly, Cowboys kept starting Jenkins because of the stature of his pick.
Yes.
But everybody was
Mike
agreeing.
But Scandrick, man, he outplayed him.
Scandrick was outplaying him the whole time, and that's why they let Jenkins go and kept Scandrick. So I think you can see the same where Jordan Lewis and if you read what he said, look, I'm a feisty player. I play hard. I play with the attitude, and that's what the Cowboys are looking at. We're getting guys that are competitive, have attitudes, that are versatile, that aren't pigeonholed in one position. You don't just play an outside corner. You can play a slot corner. You can play outside. You can slide in and play some safety. I think that's why some people wanted us to get Jabril Peppers, but I'm still glad that I'm taking Woods. We didn't have to. Honestly, I like Pepper. Peppers is athletic as out, but if you look in this kid Woods is a playmaker. You don't get 14 picks in 3 years. And 5.
You know who else was a playmaker? Is Ryan Switzer.
Switzer's a playmaker too. I think Switzer, if you're talking about Switzer for us, everybody's comparing him to Cole Beasley. You can only compare him to Cole Beasley for 2 reasons. Because he's small like Cole Beasley and he's white. That's the only comparisons you're giving to me with Cole Beasley. Because if you look out there, when we had Cole Beasley out there returning punts, Cole Beasley did not want to return punts. This kid Switzer has an attitude. He wants to get that punt return and take it to the house. And to me, he has more straight line speed than Beasley. Beasley is more quick than fast.
When you have the nickname the Swiss Army knife, it means you're versatile and you can do a bunch of things. And they were showing him, hitting bubble screen double passes down the field. The kid's, talent. He's like we talked about, football player. He likes to score touchdowns. You can see it in his highlights. As soon as he gets the ball, he's looking for that end zone. His route running is nice. Yeah. He's got some shoulder fakes, some head fakes.
His foot movement is ridiculous.
He has. I noticed on a lot of his returns, he would have one step cuts, hit a direction, and just be going the other way, and people were falling down on the ground. So I mean, the kid looks impressive. Let's see if he can do it at the next level. I think got ourselves a kick returner and possibly a good slot receiver.
If you put him in that position where he hones on, and he already has a chip on his shoulder. If you notice, a lot of these guys that we drafted have chips on their shoulder. Yeah. You have a kid like Ryan. The first thing he says out of his mouth is, "I'm the best returner in this draft."
Yep. Even though he's 5'8", 180.
Yeah, nobody is better than us. So right there, he already has the attitude like, I'm taking this position. Y'all drafted me in the 4th round. This is what I'm going to do, and this is my position. So that's why I said, Lucky Whitehead, don't get confident in where you was at. And the coaches are telling you, okay, we gave you 2 years to make it happen. You haven't. Now we got somebody to replace you. If you don't step up, you will be replaced. And that's what I want. I want guys to come in and get competition where you don't feel like your spot is guaranteed and it's going to bring out the best of you. Why do you think these teams, all these players go to the Ohio State University, to the Alabamas, to these top programs? Because the competition, only the best are going to play. And that's what we need to have in our program. Only the best are going to play. So if you have a Heath who's been on our program, now he's on notice that we got Xavier Woods. You got to bring it out, or Xavier Woods is going to come and take your spot. And that's what I like about what we're doing with the Cowboys and everything else as far as what we're going in our program, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
We snagged up the
real
back
quick.
from Temple as an undrafted free agent, too, and he doesn't look too shabby.
What's up, Ron?
Real quick to Ricky, he said he wanted Fred Ross. Him and Dak are good together. I said the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he got picked.
I think that literally came down to a coin flip of Noah Brown or Fred Ross, and they picked Noah Brown for some reason.
I mean, Noah Brown's young. He only had one starting year. I mean, he's a redshirt sophomore, and he only played 1 year. He's a young kid. That's a kid that you can develop.
And he's 6'2",
he played
225.
225, and he played at Ohio State. I mean, he's got a good pedigree.
He's got good radius, and he likes to block. He did that a lot at Ohio State. I've seen a few games.
And what have we been talking about on the show? The Cowboys love Big
What's up,
Ten
CB
players.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We love Big Ten players. We've already talked about. Look at all the Big Ten players the Cowboys have on their roster. We have tons of Big Ten players on our team.
Yeah,
there's not a reason. That's not by chance. There's a reason because a lot of players in the Big Ten are tough-minded, tough players, and that's what we want. We want tough-minded, mentally strong players. So when we go into Giant Stadium on week 1, so when we go to Arizona in week 3 on a Monday night, when we go to those teams, we have to have those tough-minded players.
Spotlights already.
I mean,
it's
we
not
got
Monday Night Football, but when you played at Ohio State and you played in the national championship game, you play in
the top game.
The top game.
What were they saying about Zeke last year? Alabama,
right?
Oregon, those big games when he produced.
Taco is his biggest production was in the biggest games that I watched, so I'm excited about that.
Definitely, and so I feel you on that. So you talk about our second pick, who was the 60th pick, where Drew Pearson killed them Eagle fans, which I'm gonna play that all the time. Play it again. You gonna play it again, Jay?
We got that kind of time?
Yeah, we got that time of time.
Yeah, if anybody missed it, here's the Drew Pearson.
If anybody missed
speech.
it, it's that Drew Pearson.
To announce the Dallas Cowboys selection, please welcome the University of Tulsa wide receiver Drew Pearson.
All right.
How about them Cowboys?
I want to thank the Eagle fans for
Receiver.
allowing me to have a career in the NFL. Thank you. I am honored as an undrafted free agent to be selected to make the Cowboys second-round draft pick.
Who we're going to talk
And
about.
on behalf of the five-time world champion Dallas Cowboys, Hall of Fame owner Jerry Jones, Gene Jones and the Jones family, Coach Jason Garrett, all the Cowboy players that played before me, that played with me, and played after me. With the second pick, 60th pick in the second round, the Dallas Cowboys select defensive back from Colorado, Chidobe Awuzie.
The Uzi, man.
The
like,
Uzi.
I will play that anytime we play Philly. That's what I'm going to play before we play y'all every game. I'm just going to play Drew Pearson just to give me height on you Philly fans.
Make that my ringtone for
Ringtone.
my brother-in-law's in the room. He's an Eagles fan.
Ringtone. But, hey, as he mentioned, Uzi, the man.
The Uzi.
I like Uzi because they had a little thing on him with NFL.com where they were seeing him talking to Daniel Jeremiah. And the thing about him, when you hear Uzi talk, I think one of the reasons why they fell in love with him, when you hear him talk, he sounds very intelligent, like he has football knowledge. And I don't think the biggest thing with me, he doesn't have that straight line speed where, okay, let's say you got a fast like an Odell Beckham. He's not going to run with him, but he's a technician.
He's not going to be asked to run with him.
But I'm just saying, he's a technician, though, and he's one of those people that technically he studies the game of football, so he'll know those ins and outs. And when you want a football intelligent, smart player on the field, knowing assignments.
Like Janoris Jenkins soon. I know your route tree. I know what you're doing when you're inside.
Not just that. If you look at the teams, JK, if you look at teams, they got to know their assignments. How many times have Dallas had problems in the past of blown assignments in our coverage?
Man, there was a couple years there, but that was like every defensive possession.
Every possession we were having blown assignments.
Around looking at
how many times?
Like, whose guy was that?
How many times have we seen on a third down, G, when it's third down and we see guys pointing at Dallas where they don't know where they're going? They're pushing guys over to the left. They're pushing guys to the right. We don't know what play we're in. The receivers are going out. Nobody knows what they're doing.
I think if you notice, the biggest thing is that doesn't happen a lot when Byron Jones is back there captaining the defensive backs and then Sean Lee's in captaining everybody else. So
Exactly.
I think those two players being out there help with that a
Well,
lot.
and I
Their
think they
leadership's
want.
huge.
I think they want Jones to grow in that position the way Barry Church did. I think they
Right.
want Jones to be that captain back there, and he is a leader. I think Jones is a leader. I think he is respected because he is a smart kid. He did have to mess up against the Packers, but for the most part of the season, he played really good. Plays really good on tight end. So I look at him being a leader, and them.
He's just going to keep getting better.
He's
That's
going to
all.
keep getting
He's
better.
gonna be
So
good.
I like with Jones. Somebody just asked, "What's up, Trey Brown, my dog? I love you. Tell your dad I said what's up, man." But somebody just Ron Smith, how I like Lewis. I'll tell you what I like. First, I was pessimistic about Lewis. I was
Oh, you should have seen the text messages. He was hating it.
I was
Not
hating-
as much as G was hating.
I was
Taco, but-
hating on the Lewis pick because I felt that I wanted a bigger corner to match up with Uzi because I thought we could slide him more of as a safety. I was worried about us getting Woods. Now that we got Woods, it makes me feel better. Now you can slide a Jordan Lewis because as far as his coverage ability, he's off the charts as far as his coverage ability. The thing I was looking at is we have small corners. I mean, Uzi is going to really be our only big corner. Skandrick is under 6 foot. Anthony Brown is under 6 foot. Jordan Lewis is under 6 foot. Leon McFadden is under 6 foot. We're going to be playing big receivers, and it's not just in our division. When we play the Cardinals, we're dealing with a guy named Larry Fitzgerald. When we play the Packers, we're dealing with Jordy Nelson.
Yep.
When we play the Raiders, we're dealing with Amani Cooper. We're dealing with
Michael
Michael Crabtree. We're dealing with big receivers across the board all year. I don't like having all small corners because they will get bullied.
Everybody's
if it's a
got big
third
old
down
tight
and
ends,
6
too.
and they do a slot pass for Alshon Jeffrey, I want to have a big corner that can break that up where you have a small corner that can't. So that's the only reason why I was a little pessimistic on the pick. But for the value of the third round, I do like Lewis, and he's scrappy and he's strong. He did 225 17 times at the combine. But he is a little grabsy. He did have 14 penalties his last 2 years at Michigan with 8 pass interference calls. You can't do that in NFL. They will call that, especially if you're a rookie. So that's something that he's going to have to work on going forward. I like the pick now, but when the pick originally came, no, I didn't like the pick. But as a player, I do think he's a good player.
Hey, thanks for the love, Gabriel. Appreciate you watching.
How about them Cowboys?
Taco in the box, Trey Brown. I like him. Like I said, I like the rotation. I like him being able to have that rotation with a Tapper, a David Irving, a DeMarcus Lawrence. He can slide in as a tackle position. You can kick Crawford out. I think the main thing is they wanted the versatility that Taco bring, that he's not just out. Because remember, he played on the left and the right side, and he played a little bit of tackle. They want versatility to where none of the guys are pigeonholed, so you don't know where we're coming from as far as when we're a long third down. You don't know where we're coming from because these guys don't have a set position. So that's what I like what he brings to the table is his versatility.
Yeah, Taco's going to be good there. I like his size, like his pass rush ability. I like his run stopping ability even more. So I think it's going to just get better and better once he gets coached up. I think it's going to be good. He's going to help out our defensive line next year a lot.
Walter asked a question. He says, what do you think was the most impressive thing Dallas did in the draft? Stay true to the board. I think that's the biggest
the first
thing.
pick had to have been the most impressive
We
to
stayed,
me.
we stayed defensively.
They knew they had to get a defensive end because there wasn't going to be one there. They knew it was between that and corner, and I think they made the right choice in getting an impact defensive end in the first round, potential impact defensive end in the first round, instead of getting somebody like Kevin King or something and then missing on a good defensive end in the second, because I think most of them were gone by then.
Yes, I mean, Bazem and all those other guys, Tyus Bowers, all those other guys we were talking about were gone.
Yeah, well
So
before.
we had and people forget, Charlton was raising up the draft boards. I mean, he was as high as 15th in mock drafts before we drafted him. So it wasn't like he was, even though we had him on the board as far as the Cowboys did as a second rounder, you're picking 28th. I mean, it's almost like the second round pick right there. So for the value we got, it was a good pick to me. And then you come right after that and you come defensive back. Then you come and then you get the kick return, punt return that we need. Then you come right back and then you get a safety.
And
then you come
corner.
right
And
back
then
and get another corner. That's saying to me, that's the most impressive thing is we stayed true to what we wanted. We got the end that we wanted. We already had depth. We just added more. Now you put the depth now, and we're young. We have now we have 6 players in the secondary that are 23 years or younger. That's what we like.
Yep, I think we were set up to succeed for a little bit, and like I said, maybe that opens up that 10-year window again. But we should be good to go, man. I'm excited about this draft. Let's get them into camp. I think that starts either like first week of May or second week of May for us. We'll get those rookies into camp, and I want to see them running some drills, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm gonna say. And then we got I got Javion Daniels. He says, "What do we think about the? What up, Javion? We got Skandrick. What do you think about him? being available for the third rounder. I think Jerry Jones, he came out vehemently denying that issue with Skandrick. So honestly, I don't think Jerry Jones is like other owners. When Jerry Jones says that he's not going to really trade you, he's not going to do it, because I think Jerry Jones is pretty true. When they come out and say we're going to cut you, we're going to cut you.
Yeah, you know.
Jerry Jones, if he says he's going to keep you, we don't trade you. So I don't think he's going to trade Skandrick now unless we get some blow off the top deal.
Yeah, unless they can work out something like Skandrick for Sherman, plus we giving him a second or third round pick or something like that. But I just don't see that being what's brewing.
And so Skandrick can be a mentor to our team. And Skandrick still has an attitude. He has been injury prone the last couple of years, but he still brings an attitude. No matter what anybody says, when Skandrick was hurt and blew out his Achilles heel, we missed him. We missed his attitude.
Every time he got hurt, we've missed him.
I mean, does he give up plays? He does give up plays, but we missed him.
Yeah, he was. I think he was a better player, a better corner than Morris Claiborne or Brandon Carr when he was on the field, and we missed him. Yeah, he wasn't there big time.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, I think, and then Sieber jumped in. He said, educate you a little bit about Switzer. Well, I'll educate you like this. He played with Mitch Trubisky last year. Trubisky, that's his name, Trubisky. He had 96 catches for 1,100 yards and 11 touchdowns, I believe. I think he had over double-digit touchdowns.
Yeah, Sieber, keep watching back here. You'll see the little man. Looks like a Smurf every once in a while and some powder blue, and you'll see him scampering, cutting, looking like an incredible punt returner. So I think you'll like it when you watch it. If you haven't, go
He's very exciting.
Go to silverbluenation.com. I think the Ryan Switzer highlights will be up here in the next day or so or a week or so or something.
Yeah, people are comparing him.
The highlights are already out on the Facebook page.
Yeah, he's not.
Go to Facebook and check
He's not the next Beasley to me. He's not a comparison to Beasley. I think he has a skill set than Beasley. Beasley is a sudden stops and goes sudden player. Beasley doesn't have a lot of fast speed to me. He's just more quick. This kid looks like he actually has wheels. When he broke out to the outside, he's not getting caught from behind.
His little legs got churning.
See Beasley. I see Beasley getting caught from behind, and I think he's not saying Beasley's not tough. I just think that he brings a tougher mindset.
I'll be interested to see if he's willing to go down when he has the ball instead of cutting back, losing 3 yards, and almost fumbling every time. I love Beasley, but that's one of the things he does that annoys me sometimes.
He tries too hard, and
him and Dez both do that sometimes.
Yeah. But I think Switzer, for his value on a fourth-round pick, I think we definitely need to get him out on the field. For a fourth-round pick, he needs to be out there on that field. He needs to be our returner.
Lucky Whitehead.
Lucky Whitehead. I don't really like Lucky Whitehead. I'm just being serious.
I'm not a big fan.
I'm not a fan of Lucky Whitehead. I'm sorry.
Something I saw watching the post-draft press conference last night was Jerry Jones talking about Switzer and about how if Cole Beasley goes down, that's a huge part of our offense, and how Dak Prescott loves these type of players, these smaller slot type of guys, and go ahead.
Gee, he lost it.
He said,
no, to finish with you off, remember when we got Lucky Whitehead, we wanted to put him in the slot. We wanted to have him as a returner. He hasn't hit it as a returner, and he definitely hasn't hit it in the slot. We don't throw to him. He makes catches in the slot.
No, we
just do the jet sweep with him.
So we don't need his 1 or 2 jet sweeps a year. I think we're looking at somebody a little bit more versatile.
I mean,
here in Ryan Switzer, like I said, they call him the Switz Army knife.
I mean,
it means he's versatile. It means he can do almost everything.
I just think he brings more to the table than Lucky Whitehead. I was never a huge Lucky Whitehead fan. I wanted to give him a chance because he was one of those small guys. But when he kept fumbling, he only had 1 good jet sweep, folks. I mean, everybody talking about the jet sweep. It was against the Green Bay game. That was only a good jet sweep he had. Maybe one more. But if we're have you on the team just for jet sweeps, I don't see that. We need you more than jet sweeps. We need you on the field more than a jet sweep. So I'm not a fan of Lucky Whitehead. I'm glad we got Switzer. I'm not hating on you, Whitehead, but I'm not mad if he beats you out and takes that spot. Nope, because we need guys that can make plays. You know what I mean? We don't need guys that can make a jet sweep every 3 or 4 games and get a 20-yard game. That's not what we need. We need somebody that's on that field producing every single week. And if you're a punt returner, we have not had an electric punt returner in forever. Dez Bryant was doing it for us, and he was nasty, but we took him off because of injuries. Yep. But when's the last person we had as a punt or kick returner that was electric with us? Besides Dion.
Felix Jones excited me for the first year or two, and then it was just yeah.
We always have had crappy guys like Tyson Thompson. You remember him? He was a running back.
Yeah.
He was like a hometown guy. Felix Jones, just failure after failure.
Exactly. I mean, and we put Dunbar back there, but it was like he got scared after he tore his knee up on the one return. It was like he didn't even want to do it anymore because of that knee injury. He just started running slow. So I'm cool with that. So I like the Switzer pick. I like the Jordan Lewis pick after we got more guys after him. But
Right.
the kid I really want to talk about, to me, I love Xavier Woods. Like, if you're not excited about this Xavier Woods kid, I don't know what's wrong with you. To me, I don't care if he didn't play in the Big Ten or anything like that. You have 14 picks in 3 years. You have 3, I think, your first year, 6 after that, and then you have come back with 5. That to me is amazing. And he puts the wood on you. He's not a big kid, but he lays the wood. And that's the type of excitement I want to have. And he's already stated that he's played cornerback. He's played in the slot, he's played on the outside, and he's played safety. So you can still play him as a cornerback position.
It looks like Amy Lank Miller's on my side. Well, was on my side until I left that bandwagon. But the
Real
Morris
quick,
Claiborne,
that's actually my buddy Woody. Just to give him a
Woody.
shout out. He's on his wife's account, but that's actually Woody Miller, a fellow Cowboys fan.
Well, big shout out to Woody. And I thought that for a while, but he can't stay healthy. I agreed on Mo. You can ask him, man. That was my little pet project, and I really thought he was going to get healthy and succeed with us. And
we never did give him a
Didn't
chance
happen.
at return man, and he was very good at it in college.
yeah, we could have kept him around for that, like special teams. Like I said earlier, we could have kept him around on a 1 or 2 year deal for cheap, and I just think that the ship had sailed on that. And he could have been a returner first, but he wasn't healthy.
He got
So
way
and
more
you
money
didn't
than
wanna-
we would have given
They didn't
him.
want to put him back there because he's fragile.
Yeah, so I was listening to Javion Daniels, Taco Charlton comparison, NFL comparison. People comparing him to Justin Tuck. The guys here said Pierre Paul. Me personally, I think he's more of a Chris Canty to me that we used to have. I think he's going to be that type of player. I mean, if you look at when Canty played with us, he wasn't dominant, but he was very good.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
He's had a funny looking face mask.
I loved his face mask.
Yeah, I like it too.
It stood out. So that's what made you notice him.
It's because he had that eye issue.
Yeah.
Something was wrong with his eyes.
I mean, that's why he dropped in the draft actually, because of that eye issue. People were worried about that. So, I mean, going forward, I like Charlton to be like Canty for us. He doesn't have great get off, but I don't think that's going to be hugely important with us because he just adds that depth, and now we have more young guys that can attack you.
We'll have
different
fresh
ways.
bodies coming in and out, hopefully, on the defensive line.
Is this the most excited that any Cowboys fan has ever been about a 6th round draft pick? Because everybody is pumped about this guy.
Woods?
Yeah.
I mean,
We showed last year we can find somebody in the 6th round to play in our defensive backfield.
I can't remember
I'm
a time
excited.
where we've been more excited to get a 6th round pick and thinking
And
he's
gonna
going to
start
come in and make an
and-
impact right away.
Yeah, you would think more people would have been on him, but they should have been.
Hey, think about it though, G. Even when we were doing the black and white last year, you remember when we got Anthony Brown?
Oh, real quick, hold that thought. You were supposed to let Dustin know when we was going on.
Oh, my bad. I told that's G's fault. I'm blaming him.
Hey, Dustin.
Dustin, my bad.
Hey, Dustin, we're on.
Forgive me.
We're on, Dustin.
Forgive me, Dustin. Forgive me. My apologies, big dog.
Hey,
you know how we've
BGJ
been
is the one that messages you.
My fault, Dustin.
We didn't want to interrupt
You're here
his
now,
church
right?
time.
You here? Don't leave me,
We're
dog.
still on for another hour or so.
Don't leave me, dog. My bad. You.
Anyway, you were talking about Anthony Brown.
I was saying remember we were talking about Anthony Brown when we saw that he got selected in the 6th round, and we were like, who's this kid? And then we both looked at the tape, 4.3.
He looked really good on tape.
He looked really good on tape. We're like, how did this kid drop to the 6th round? So
played
we
at
were
Purdue.
talking about
Yeah.
him last year, and now you saw it was really the truth. I mean, he's really the real deal. Do I think he starts on the outside corner? I hope so, because I don't want Nolan Carroll starting on the outside.
No.
Nolan Carroll is just a body. That's why we drafted him.
That's like
So
what
I
we
say-
were talking about on the on the porch. We were saying that there's a chance he might not even stay on the roster.
Yeah.
I would have rather had Claiborne at that point, but like he's expendable.
And that's
So
what
that
I
makes
was saying last
Carroll-
week before the draft. In the last show, I was saying these guys like Carroll, these are our floor. So we can let those kind of guys go if we
Yeah,
have to.
and we haven't committed to him. We gave a 3-year deal, but we didn't commit no major money to him. It's not going to be big for us to cut Carroll. And now you can honestly see Nolan Carroll looking at like, dang, I might not even have a spot on the team. So it's going to bring out the best in him. Not saying that he's a great player, but it will bring out the best in him because now you got a Marquise White, you got an Anthony Brown, you got a Scandrick, you have Uzi, you have Lewis. You still have Leon McFadden. You have guys out there. Byron Jones can slide at the corner in a pinch. So now you have guys that are.
We created a
we created
storm.
competition. This is
Competition
all.
storm.
This draft was a great draft for us because it created competition.
Now it's
and
just
that's what
about
we want.
everybody finding their
actually-
role in the team.
I hear you, Patrick. I ain't disagreeing with you saying Carroll's good. You ain't hearing out my mouth saying Carroll was good. And JK say he trash too, so he agrees with you. Give him a bang.
He needs a buzzer.
Yeah.
If I can get it pulled up here.
We about to give him. There you go. Carroll got the buzzer. We ain't believing in him. And plus, he came from Philly, so we really ain't believing in him. We remember what Dez did to him.
Yeah, we know we could have had Kevin King, Dustin. It's sad, but we don't have him. We have Taco and like 7 other defensive backs.
Yeah, but I'm with him on the Kevin King thing or any other DB. That's why I was a little disappointed when we got Taco because I feel like we got David Irving, DeMarcus Lawrence. He was a second-round pick. You know, the first pick of the second round, wasn't
I don't
it?
like. Yeah, but you know how
Lawrence?
we feel about Lawrence G.
Yeah, I know. So, but I'm just saying, do you see
Would you
more upside?
He might be
Would you?
physical.
You don't think? Do you think Charlton has more upside than Lawrence now?
Yeah,
Would you want to have Taco Charlton on the outside with Irvin?
I'm excited about Charlton's size.
Yeah,
for sure.
Right. So, and think about it. Having
Lawrence just has never been as productive as I never even thought he was going to be that productive.
I
from
thought
the
he
start.
I
wasn't
thought
happy
it was gonna be
with that
decent.
pick.
I wanted more, but it looks like. But wouldn't you be excited to see a David Irvin 6'7" on one side and a 6'6" guy on the other side as your defensive ends attacking?
Oh, absolutely.
You're putting hands up. You're,
But-
you're
the pass.
covering a 10-foot radius on each end.
You know, these guys are rotational. You know, Rod Marinelli likes to do the rotation thing.
He
so
loves it.
You're not going to see one guy out there starting all the time.
No, that's not what he does.
So
Like I said, keep him
don't
healthy.
expect,
That's why bodies.
don't expect 10-plus sacks.
No,
because
I,
of that.
I think I told you that the other day. As soon as we drafted him, I wouldn't expect more than like 6 to 8 sacks out of him. I don't expect.
Yeah, but
and that's not
and
bad
to
for
me,
him.
But I
to
don't.
me,
I don't expect 10.5 out of him like I did Joey Bosa getting drafted at 4 compared to 28.
for me,
Right.
the value would have been better there than, because of your point, to get a defensive back because we already have that 6 to 8 sack type players.
It's more about, like I said, for me, it's more about quarterback pressures. I think he's going to provide a lot of pressures.
And we have Tapper that we haven't seen. I think we all expect a huge season from Malik Collins.
Yeah.
Collins should step
I
it up.
think,
And like I
yeah.
said, Tapper still worries me because back issues always should scare anybody that are playing.
Well, we're
in
going to see
leverage
in the
positions
we're going to
like
see
that.
we're going to see in the mini camp because he says he's fully healthy. So we're
Yeah, but I mean, he says he's fully healthy. Wouldn't you be saying that if you could make millions of dollars doing something by saying you're healthy? But all the doctors have said it's like a chronic issue. It's not going away.
The
well.
post-
I mean, they said it was a SARS issue. They said he had it since childhood, and they just now found it. But to me, if you had it since childhood and you were wrecking havoc in that long, I feel good about that you had it that long and you still were producing. So
Right.
that gives me a little bit of hope that you're going to move past this injury
I hope he
in the
can.
future.
I'm the same way with Jalen Smith. You know how I feel like he's going to be amazing. I just really hope he can get past all this stuff. And it's almost time for these camps to find out. We got mid-July until we see all these people running around.
Are you talking about Rolando McClain, Woody?
Probably Rolando McClain. And
You're talking about he's unrestricted right now, so as of right now, he's not signed.
who's that? Rolando
McClain.
McClain? Oh no, because we already gave his jersey number away.
Yeah.
So
Who got it?
I don't know who got because he's 55. Somebody took his jersey.
One of the new guys?
I think one of the new guys, but he doesn't have that number anymore. He does not have that number anymore. So
How
to
do you
me-
like, real quick, since we're just talking about numbers, how do you like 97 on Taco? I'm not a fan of 97.
I don't like 97 on him.
I don't like
I like
the
to see
97
I
number.
want to see like a 92 or
I
something.
like a
on
nice
him.
round number, like a 98.
99.
I don't.
Who's
care.
99 for us?
Nobody right now, I don't think.
Wasn't Chris Caney 99?
Kenny was 99.
Take
So-
99,
so was
Charlton.
George Selvey was, too.
He's going to be our 97. He's going to start a new trend.
I like David Irving's 95. That looks nice.
Yeah, I like 95 on Irvin.
He looks like I can see him in 5 years being a superstar. Like,
Let's hope so.
You know what number
Let's
would look
hope so.
great on him? I'm just kidding. He doesn't deserve to wear that number though either.
Who's that?
Randy Gregory's number, because he doesn't. Neither one of them deserve it. But Taco would look good in '94, but he's not gonna. I don't think he's that good. I don't think he
Yeah,
deserves
they
to wear
should
that.
give it to him.
But I don't think Randy Gregory should have it at all. Like
I think they should let Taco have it.
Tired of him wearing that number. He's gonna play,
I'm
hogging
just
it.
I'm pretty much just tired of that issue. I mean, a couple people have asked us about the Randy Gregory issue. I mean, Jerry Jones is still backing this kid. I mean, I don't know what the obsession Jerry Jones has with Randy Gregory, but he is still backing him. Like he still want him on the field.
You said it like a couple
Yeah,
of
he
show
don't-
ago or two. You said Gregory
time
is
he
that
steps on the
guy
field,
who could
man.
be that monster. That's what Jerry's seeing too. So
Yeah.
He's
trying to
probably
hold
just
on
sitting
to
around
that,
gaining weight too.
just like the Browns are with Gordon. Except we've seen more from Gordon.
Right.
I personally don't believe in Gregory's ability on the field, but I think I don't know. I just haven't seen that flash from him.
I think
my
he
personal
he
opinion on
is
him.
that player, but you being that far off the field for that long and you haven't played when you've been in the NFL. It's
Jerry
not like
must see something.
It's not like he's played 5, 6, 7, 8 games. He played like a few games, injured his ankle, didn't come into the end of the year, then gets in trouble with the drug suspension, and we haven't seen him. So it's kind of like, what are you now? You could have been one of those great people, but you're not playing NFL football. You don't just come off the street after a year or two and produce in the NFL. That doesn't happen.
No, he was potentially a freak athlete, man. He just kind of wasted it.
What season is DeMarcus Lawrence going into now?
This is his last year on his 4-year deal.
I want to go back and look and see who did we pass up on.
We should, because we traded up to get him.
Yeah, we passed on quite a few
First
people.
pick of the second round.
And, Washington was going to grab him.
This is his final season to prove something.
It is. If DeMarcus Lawrence does not do something, they're not going to re-sign him.
No re-signing. You're just going to be a free agent.
And I think that's another reason why we got Charlton, too, for a backup for him, because they're probably putting Lawrence on notice. Like, look, this is your last year to make something happen. Look at Lawrence's career. He missed the first 8 games of the year with a broken foot. Played a little bit, played decent. His rookie year had a couple of, sacks that gave us some hope. Then you had the next year, everybody was talking about he had the 8 sacks in 8 games, but people don't talk about how the first 8 games he had no sacks.
None.
He had 0 sacks the first 8 games, and then he had the streak. And then after that, he had the injury, back injury again, and the marijuana. So he got suspended for 4 games, so that means you were already in trouble prior. You had already been in trouble. They don't just suspend you 4 games. You were already in trouble prior. So you already been on notice with that. So not just that, and you had the back injury, and you only had 1 sack. 1. I mean, you have to produce. We can't just keep giving you that spot and say, DeMarcus Lawrence, this is your spot. This is what you need to do. I'm not hating on DeMarcus Lawrence, but you have to step up. If you're not making the plays, then Stephen Jones has already said, we're not going to keep paying guys that are just doing regular plays. We're going to get rid of you and replace you. We're going to get 22-year-olds. We're going to get 23-year-old younger players that are less expensive. They're going to get the job done, and we don't have to pay these guys.
You know what? This defense is going to be completely different this year than last season, and we're probably about to go to the Super Bowl.
I mean, we're right. To me, it's Jason Garrett.
It'd be hard to go to Super Bowl with a bunch of rookies on defense, but with Dak and Zeke in year 2.
Okay, so here's my question, and I want you fans to hear this too if you're listening. If Jason Garrett gets knocked out the first round this year, what are we saying with this talent?
I think he's still sticking around. I think Jason Garrett's a 20-year coach, unless we just absolutely just.
I don't want to hear that.
8-8 or less.
So now it's a 20-year window
for Garrett.
I don't.
I don't know.
I'm be honest with you with Jason Garrett. I'm trying to believe in him.
Knows
I'm trying to believe in Garrett because he does get those right type players, but I'm not listening to the right type of thing anymore if you're not getting us out that.
I believe in his philosophy.
Well,
but his philosophy ain't winning us games though.
If we get to the first round of the playoffs and go out again, how many times is that now? Like 6 with him, 5 with him that we made the playoffs and been out in the first round?
He's been with us 6 years and he's only been to the playoffs twice with him.
He has a playoff win. He's 1-2.
So if we don't win one this year,
but he's been there 6 years.
Yeah, but I think that when he started, we completely wiped the house out.
No, we still had players. It was because remember those 8 and 8 years. Remember we were 5-3 going into September.
He lost playoff games with Romo. He lost playoff game with.
Yeah, but he took over in 2009 or 2010. Who's still on the team from that time?
Right, but what I'm saying is when you looked at our record going into December, when they kept on dogging us with Romo, we had a winning record going into December, and we choked.
Putting us in bad positions and not coaching us well enough. Because we talked about the play call a lot of those times.
We just saw him year 1, no Romo, 13-3. Let's start from where Dak is now, and let's move forward from this point.
No, we saw year 1 without Romo. The year before that went 3-13.
Yeah, but you saw Matt Castle and whoever else it was.
Right, but Matt Castle's a serviceable quarterback. You saw him.
We didn't win with Matt Castle. You've seen other teams win with these weak backup players.
Didn't he go to Houston?
We lost 7 in a row.
Didn't he go to Houston and win a game?
Yes, no. Brandon Weeden.
All right, well, okay, same team. You add Dak Prescott, and we're 13-3.
Right, but we still lost.
Yeah, because of a bad quarterback. We get a good quarterback, and look what happens.
We lost.
I feel like we might have
won.
He might have been put in bad positions.
Yeah, we won 13-3, but we got.
We went 0-1 in the playoffs. That's the only real stat.
That's the only thing I care about right now. We went 13-3, but we didn't do anything in the playoffs. That's all I care about. You can have a great regular season record, like Peyton Manning was having the greatest regular season record ever.
My judgment's going to start from Dak on because you got to tie the coach to the quarterback. That's how it is in this life, in this NFL.
It's not like he didn't have Romo. I mean, he had a good quarterback. He
Yeah,
obviously
but
had good teams. So
you
I mean,
guys know all the controversy that Romo.
at some point, you got to look at these players keep getting to the positions. The athletes are there. Are they not being put in the right places? Are they not the right plays not being called? Why are they not getting over this hump? It's not. It can't just be the players. Like you said, we're on the second regime of players now, and we still can't get over that hump. Is it him that can't get us over that hump?
That's all I'm asking. Like,
that's what I'm saying, though.
Garrett?
Is it him? So now we've got a chance with Dak in this team to see if it's him. Because can we win?
And that's what I'm saying.
I
think if they go out in the first round of the playoffs
asking,
this year,
I'm not asking you about Jerry or the 20 year or anything. I'm asking you if we have another good record, and let's say we have a first round exit again. Are you saying let's keep Garrett?
Yes. Tell me who you gonna get instead.
Only reason why we keep Garrett after that if he lost again is because we've had the team together for so long.
Tell me who you're gonna get instead. That's gonna deal with Jerry Jones.
I don't know.
Who's not gonna want to be a puppet? You know, nobody wants to do that. Jason Garrett is perfect for this ownership.
But he's got to win. I don't want to hear that puppet crap. If we
yeah,
ain't
but
winning.
I think that the Jones family looks at it like Jason Garrett is
we need
family.
to win.
This is a family effort. This ain't all on him.
Yeah, this is a family effort. But if he keeps getting knocked out of these first or second round, and we ain't even got to an NFC championship with this dude, I don't want him anymore.
Right, people are saying like we lost on a Hail Mary and it was the defense that let us down. I mean, you got to think.
Well, I'm not going to fire.
It wasn't just one play. It's the whole game in the NFL that loses you the game. In the whole first half, we were out-coached.
I'm not going to fire.
That's why we get down 21 points. You can't spot Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers 21 points.
I'm not firing a coach of the year with this team that we just started. Not now. To me, his little window just opened up 3 or 4 seasons at least. Okay, yes, the head coach's windows are small. You know, we know that.
The whole NFL window.
But I
is small.
do think
it's
that
a parity
last
league.
season reopened the window for Garrett for another 3 or 4 seasons. Who you gonna get that's better? I'm waiting.
I don't know the coaches out there. They can. There's tons of young assistants.
Exactly.
There's young assistants out there that are really good that I probably don't know. I mean, there's a lot of good coaches out there that I don't know. But like you said, okay, they have to deal with Jerry. Well, we need to get a tough-minded. I don't know what tough-minded coach would want to come in and deal with that. But the fact of the matter is, just because he can listen to Jerry Jones and deal with it, he's got to win.
It's about not having an ego.
Right, but it's about wins to me.
Jason
I don't care
Garrett
about
has
an
no
ego. It's about
okay,
wins.
well then you need to blame Jerry Jones, and that's where you're blaming.
Well, I'm gonna blame Jerry then. If we ain't winning,
people were calling for Garrett's head a couple years ago. I mean, this isn't.
I mean,
like a new
what?
thing.
We're gonna go get Nick Saban, and what? He's gonna come in for 2 seasons and then clash heads with Jerry, and he's gone.
I don't think he wants Nick Saban.
I'd rather have
Who knows?
Jason.
I mean, I don't even know if Jerry Jones has a 10-year window to be around. I don't want to say that too bad, but like. You know what I mean? Like he might not be.
But let me ask you this:
have to deal with this
Do you think? I don't know if Stephen Jones has the loyalty. Do you think Stephen Jones has the loyalty to Garrett like Jerry Jones does? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think Stephen has that loyalty to him.
I think
he might not.
Eventually, somebody's going to want to come to the Cowboys knowing that Jerry's not in full control, and it's not going to be as difficult to come in there, and you won't have to be such a puppet.
I'm with you, Armando. God forbid if Jerry dies, Stephen Jones gonna fire Jason. I'm with you. I think Stephen Jones will fire.
You guys are saying that he's gonna be fired in like 10 years.
Well, if Jerry Jones is
Jerry Jones is gonna keep him.
Jason Garrett is a Jerry Jones guy.
Yes,
he's just one of his.
Look what he did with Romo.
He's Gregory.
He's Romo. He's
gonna ride him till the end. And like I said, we'll
everybody loves Jason Garrett.
Eventually, it comes back to math. You know, there's always a common denominator when you're dealing with fractions. So we'll see if. Here in a year or two, obviously, if he's the common denominator, then we know we need to cancel out and try something different.
I don't agree with that, Patrick. I don't agree with Garrett just being a coach and offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators call the plays. The coach manages the game. Right. So it doesn't matter offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators calling the plays. It's the coach that runs the team. It's the coach that calls the game. It was Tom Coughlin that got that team together, not the offensive coordinators that made them get on those winning streaks and wins. That was Tom Coughlin.
They all wear headsets. And he hears a play call go in. He can go on as a head coach and say, no, run something different. This is not a good position. We need to run the ball here. He has the ability to do that, and does he? I don't know. But I like Jason Garrett. I guess
he's a good guy.
We're coming off a little.
Hey, that would be
harsh on him.
That'd be a mean poll to put out there. Like, do you want Jason Garrett? Jerry Jones gone? Like,
Jerry Jones?
That's a good poll to put out there.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now. I would say a lot of Cowboys fans would love to see Steven right now as the head man.
See, this is what I love when we have these discussions because inspiration strikes. That's a great poll question. I'm gonna put that out tonight.
No, Jerry. I don't think I'm crazy. I definitely do think Jason Garrett is just a Jerry guy because, like Skip Bayless was saying, everybody just loves Jason Garrett. He's just a likable guy.
What's Trell saying about puppets?
Puppet Ray. We're so far off. I mean, I don't know. You can say what your opinion is.
So
dude.
wait,
It's cool.
Trell's saying that he thinks that Jason Garrett is not a puppet?
Okay, so Terrell, jump in here and tell me how you think he is not a puppet, because he's definitely a puppet.
No, he is a puppet.
He's definitely a puppet.
That's the kind of guy.
You don't think
that's
he's
the
not.
only type of coach that's going to have longevity with Jerry Jones.
With Jerry Jones. So if you're not thinking he's a puppet,
wouldn't Garrett right now be the longest coach Jerry Jones has had?
Yes.
Longest tenured coach?
Yes. Because why? Because he puts up with Jerry Jones.
They're like family. That's what I'm saying. They're in it's like a team effort for them.
Armando said
they're not
this
pointing the
generation's
finger at
Tom
Jason
Landry. I mean,
Garrett.
that's pretty much what it is. I mean, he's.
But what did Tom Landry do? What did Tom Landry do that Jason Garrett ain't? He got rings.
All right. Well, just look at it like this. From right now, we went 13-3. We got close. So let's just hope that we can do it next year.
Yeah. Hopefully, we're not talking about us not winning a playoff game next year. Hopefully, this isn't even a conversation, but it's just.
I'm not bashing.
Next year, Jason Garrett wins a Super Bowl. We're talking a whole different tone.
I think when we got off the top, it was just more of it was an if question. If they lost in the first round again, then do we start? And we're not hoping for that. We're not. We want Jason Garrett to be around.
Another thing
So
with
that's
Jason
a
Garrett
hypothetical.
and the whole family deal is like the whole team has the '90s vibe. So it's like, he has them Jimmy Johnson ties, which is pretty cool. So he knows how that team was when Jimmy Johnson was there. That's kind of what he wants to infiltrate.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
Look at the line building.
And you got to be happy with that.
I'm listening to Manning and Brian. I'm not bashing Jason Garrett, but it's 6 years now. I think it's going in year 7. You had 3 8-8 records. You guys are talking about the culture. I agree. He changed our culture. I'm not Y'all think I'm dissing Jason Garrett. I am not dissing him. What I am talking about is you had 3 8-8 seasons. We had winning records. We tanked. Then we had the season where Romo had the great season with DeMarco Murray and everything. We still lost. I know it was a bogus. I know the catch, it was bogus, but we still lost. Then we came back, we're 4-12. I know it's injuries, but other coaches have coached their players up when they had players lost and they still won games. We lost on. We had a 7-game losing streak.
I think it's a fair question to ask. If people call Romo a choke artist and he can't succeed, Jason Garrett's still there and they're still doing the same thing, is it not fair to call him a choker and saying he's not succeeding?
We talked about this before, the Romo comparison to Garrett.
Yes, I think right now he's like the Romo right now of coaches. I'm not hating on Garrett.
Yeah, but what about a guy like Marvin Lewis? I mean, you can look around the league
I'm hating
a little
on
bit.
Why is he still at the Bengals? I can say fire him. He's been there too long. He's not winning.
The point is, though,
it's just maybe there needs to be a change of leadership. Somebody take him a different direction.
That's what you want them to do, but they're not doing that. So that just shows you he's going to stick around if we're going to playoffs. They're not firing a guy who just went to the playoffs.
Right, but
it's happened before. But not for us, but
I can look at a Tony Dungy.
The Jason Garrett
Tony Dungy was good with the Bucks, was good with the Colts, kept winning and winning and winning, but couldn't win the big one. He gets fired. John Gruden comes in there and has the same players and wins a Super Bowl.
So sometimes a change of coaching philosophy can change the players, the way the players.
It's all about timing, and you guys know that coaches are tied to their quarterbacks. Really, their success is.
There's nothing I want more than Jason Garrett to lead them to a Super Bowl.
I want Jason Garrett to succeed, Cowboys fans.
That's what I'm saying. Give him a chance now going forward with Dak. Let's just see how he does with Dak for a couple years.
Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and give him that. I'll go ahead and give him that time. But it's still in the back of my mind. I'm going to say something. So, Cowboy fans, I love you, but I'm going to say something about Garrett. I ain't going to be quiet.
Everyone's saying give him time. We're now, seriously going to be looking at a 20-year window.
Everybody, come on!
We're at year 8, year 7 or something like that. So, we need to give him more time. We're looking at 15 years of mediocrity at some point if we don't win.
On the flip side, if we do come out, we could come out here with Dak Prescott, win 4 or 5 Super Bowls.
And let's hope we do.
We're talking
all about
a whole different story. So, the argument you can make for that, I mean, you have more facts than I would because we don't have wins. You guys clearly see that we're losing in the playoffs. But.
Yeah. I know Dungy. I forgot. I know Dungy won. I know Dungy won the Super Bowl with the Colts. But what was the thing that was over Dungy's head? I know he won the Super Bowl with the Colts, but what was the thing over his head? He could not win the big one. They kept on saying that about him.
Who?
Tony Dungy, when he was with the Bucks. I mean, they kept on saying he wasn't going to win the big one.
Yeah, and guess what? He got with a good quarterback, and he won one.
He won one. He did.
That's what I'm saying. So a head coach is most of the time, the head coach's success is tied to the quarterback, except for a guy like like a Bill Parcells or something.
I hear you, man. I said that was my mistake on that.
They've always had a great quarterback with them.
Jerry just brought up a great point.
I know, right? We got off talk.
Draft talk.
I get heated because I want us to win. So I do apologize about that. you got to understand though, we have the players right now. I mean, even with this draft,
You should have seen the veins pop in his neck from where I was sitting. Thought I was going to blow.
only because I'm ready to win. I mean, I'm ready to win. Like, I'm ready to win. Like, it's been for so long that we have. I don't know about you Cowboys fans, but as much as these other people are saying about the.
All right, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was going to switch topics, but go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, since we're talking about Garrett, how do we feel about since his drafts since he's gotten here?
His drafts are good. I mean, it's another good draft this year.
Yeah, so
He's coming out of the Parcells lineage.
I mean, we don't know yet, but this could be another great draft.
It could be. Well, like I said, we had a good offensive draft last year as far as the players that we needed in those certain positions. Now we address the defense. Now I feel like we got to make these moves now. Our schedule's going to be a lot tougher, but that's cool. I like having a tougher schedule because it's only going to make our team better. I don't want to play weak teams. I don't want to play the bottom of the barrel teams. I want to play tough teams because then when we do get to the playoffs, it makes us battle tested and we're not going to be surprised at anything because we play some of the toughest teams out there. So I'm loving our schedule. I just hope that all our guys step up as far as on the defense. These kids that we got, Woods, Lewis, Charlton, Uzi. I mean, even the kid Ivy that we was talking about. I don't know if any of you guys, Cowboy fan, remember. I compared Joey Ivy from was he from Florida? 6'3", 300 pounds. I don't know if y'all remember this kid named Sean Lessamore. He came from William and Mary. He was a pretty good player for us, but we didn't re-sign him. But he's comparison to him.
He ended up going to Redskins. Was he one of them?
I think he
ended
ended up. Yeah, Lessamore. I think
I
Lessamore did end up going to the Redskins, or like a Nick Hayden. Those were just real solid guys. But when I watched Ivy, he wasn't getting in that backfield. I watched him a game against East Carolina, even though East Carolina, but they played good because they had Zay Jones. And they actually, I think they almost beat them, but he was in that backfield every play. So that's just more depth along the defensive line with Ivy, and you got the kid from Colorado at the bottom of the draft. That's just going to create competition. I don't know if they stay.
I like how we're drafting teammates.
Yeah, I don't know if they stay.
They got chemistry.
But I do like how
here's your locker, buddy.
Competition. You know what I mean? And then you get a Noah Brown who's going to create competition for Bryce Butler.
Yep.
For our other slots, Terrence Williams is always
every position we drafted at, we have a little bit of depth, but not a bunch. And like we talked about earlier, it creates competition between those players that we do have. So we should see the cream rise to the top.
We definitely had depth, in my opinion, on the defensive line, and we got 3 more defensive linemen. And I'm sure we're not done. We signed some undrafted guys.
Right. I'm not mad at having an 8-man rotation up there.
And we lost, 4 DBs, and we gained 4 DBs in this draft.
Yep.
And picked up 2 wide receivers, which I thought was a need, and we got a return man out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I would definitely say our Cowboys. I mean,
like
we got Willie Clay back there. He's doing his job.
Right.
I feel like the Cowboys did what the fans wanted.
I mean, we hit on this draft. I mean, if you're not excited about this draft as a Cowboys fan, like we said in the very beginning, something is very wrong because we all wanted defense. Everybody, any Cowboy fan can tell you we wanted defense. We already felt like we had the offense, and the Cowboys basically gave us the fans what we wanted.
And yes, we could have had some other players.
We could have some other players.
We got players we needed, fill positions we needed, and we've got competition started.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I mean, think about it. We had, excuse me.
Yeah, Marcus, I noticed that about the defensive players.
I know people were talking about Reuben Foster, that we could have got him. But once again, why deal with the headache? We don't know. I mean, he had the diluted sample. I don't know what he did. But honestly, they probably just don't want to deal with those problems anymore. We don't need the problems. We already got players like that. We just had another kid did he get cut from us that just got popped with the 4 game drug suspension with us? The receiver that we just recently signed off the Jaguars, he got popped for a 4-game suspension.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not saying we have a problem.
He got released,
but there are problems. There are drug problems within the Cowboys. So why draft another player who's had that on his record?
The question I brought up earlier.
You look at the culture. I mean, why is that happening? So why bring in somebody like that? Can do that again?
Would he have been like a Randy Gregory 2.0? Would he have been that same type of player, or is this going to end up being like a Randy Moss 2.0 where we're mad we drafted him? Yeah, I'm talking about Reuben Foster.
Yeah.
So are we going to be mad we didn't draft him, or are we going to be happy because he ends up being like Randy Gregory? I think this is one of those situations where
I think we're going to be fine with what we did because, like we were talking about again when we were out, off the air earlier, about how Alabama players seem to already have reached their height at Alabama, and they come into the NFL and can't really go to that next level. So maybe that's something we see again with that. Or a lot of these guys dropped. You know, they fell a little bit lower than they were projected. Maybe that's why. At least that's what the chatter I've been hearing, you know, on the radio and stuff.
I think, like I said, I just think that if you look at the guys that we signed, it looks like all those kids that signed with us are excited to be Cowboys. Like how many times do you hear about kids when they get drafted like us? Hey, I was a Cowboys fan all my life. A lot of these people were Cowboys fans before they became Cowboys.
Because we're Americans.
Did you hear Ryan Switzer's call?
What do you say?
Just how emotional he got when we drafted him.
And
you could tell he really was passionate and wants to play.
Yeah, and I think he wants to make a difference, and I know he can make a difference. I think our offense, year 2, with our coordinator Linehan and Dak, I think that offense is going to be ridiculous this year.
Did you see Patrick O'Brien's question in there?
What do you say?
How you feel about them dirty birds jumping over us to get Tack McKinley?
I think Tack fit them. I'm not saying he wouldn't fit us, but I think
that's exactly what they did.
He fit Atlanta more than he fit with us because now
that is what they did.
They jumped over him because they knew we were going to take him.
Yeah, and plus I think he's more of an outside backer. To me, he can convert more to an outside backer.
I think we would have got him if he was there. If it was down between him and Taco, I think we were taking Tack.
We had a second round grade on Taco. They said we only had one first-round grade left at the time we made the Taco pick, and they didn't say who it was, but I'm thinking it was probably Foster.
It might have been Kevin King. Well, I don't even know if they had Foster on their board. I mean, I don't even know if they would, just because of thinking he's go top 10 or something.
That, you know, the Cowboys like to go best available if they can.
But they usually do like defensive need, or like player need, and then best available mixed in there.
But still, I'm just saying on the board because you might skip over best available.
That's what I mean. Like they'll probably skip over like somebody they don't need. They'll just skip over, and he's not number 8 on my big board because we don't need a linebacker.
Right, but I'm just saying that might be the one guy they still had the first round grade on Foster because every team probably had him as a first round grade talent wise.
I mean, I don't see why not. He's a monster.
I
it's just he got scared.
Pick projected.
Who's that?
Ruben Foster.
Yeah, Foster. I mean, he was a top 10 pick until that sample had. But didn't he get kicked out of the combine too for arguing with somebody?
Yeah, I saw an interview with him on ESPN or something like that, and he was talking about how he was there for 6 hours trying to take his drug test, and he was just like, come on, I'm hungry. I'm in the middle of this combine. I've been there for 6 hours, and he's like, I didn't handle it right. So he went back and apologized to the nurse and the whole department and stuff, and he said all the right things, but I think that leaves a lasting impression. Obviously it does.
What's he saying about us tripping on Irving?
Butler? Will Butler, actually, I mean, Irvin's one of my favorite players. But
what's he saying? I don't understand that.
He's basically saying we weren't tripping on Irvin if he was probably getting in trouble. Probably getting in trouble back in the day when he was doing the coke and whatever.
Irving?
Yeah.
Michael Irvin?
I think he's talking about Michael
That's
Irvin.
what I'm saying. That comment makes no sense to me. You're going to have to clear that up.
I think he's basically saying, y'all weren't tripping on Irvin getting in trouble, so why you tripping on the young guys? I mean, come on.
That was Jimmy Johnson's team. This is Jason Garrett's.
Right. If we're talking about culture, why would you want to bring in somebody who just had that happen to him, and we already have a problem with that? Why bring in
we're trying to not be the 90s. I mean, we're trying to be the 90s Cowboys, but we're not trying to have the White House with all the parties.
Yeah, well, I mean, we don't want to have to deal with that.
I don't care what it is if it wins Super Bowls like the 90s.
But Jason Garrett's already said he's going after his type of guys, good character guys, and they've strayed from that a few times, and you've seen Randy Gregory.
Who do you think strayed from? That's Jerry Jones.
That's
right,
what I was
and that's
say.
what he's pulling that in,
and that's where you need to blame Jerry more, maybe for some of these failures than Jason Garrett.
No, I'm not saying. The only thing I'm saying with Jerry, Jerry with Jason, let's leave it alone. Let's go, Jason Garrett. Let's go, Jason Garrett. I'm all for you. Woo woo. Let's go, Jason Garrett. Let's go. Let's get this Super Bowl. I'm backing the Cowboys all 100%. But if I see something critical with the Cowboys, I'm going to say something. I'm not going to be quiet with it.
Let's pump them up with the Drew Pearson again. If you guys missed it, if you didn't get to hear it yet, the Drew Pearson second round pick.
To announce the Dallas Cowboys selection, please welcome the University of Tulsa wide receiver Drew Pearson.
All right. How about them Cowboys? I want to thank the Eagle fans for allowing me to have a career in the NFL. Thank you. I am honored as an undrafted free agent to be selected to make the Cowboys second round draft pick. And on behalf of the 5-time world champion Dallas Cowboys, Hall of Fame owner Jerry Jones, T. Jones and the Jones family, Coach Jason Garrett, all the Cowboy players that played before me, that played with
That clip's almost as long as when Yates gets off on a tangent.
That's all right. Hey, I'm passionate. I'm passionate like Drew Pearson, man. I'm passionate about my team. You got to understand. Hey, I know we all deep Cowboy fans, but I've been in them 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s, so it's passion right here. You know what I'm saying? The old school, the new school. It's time for us to get Super Bowls, man. No matter what anybody says, that 20 years still bothers me. It's been 20 years since we did something. It's time for us to make it happen, and now we have the team to make it happen, so now I'm more let's make it happen now. Now we finally have those players. When we had Romo, we kept building or losing or building. Then we finally got the team around him. He gets hurt. So now we finally got the young quarterback that we wanted. So now's the time to go ahead and do it. We got the defensive players. Our defensive players are studs. I love who we drafted. Like I said, we drafted tough-minded, versatile, aggressive, smart people, and I think that's going to make the difference. Ron Marinelli is going to coach up all these kids on this defense. He's going to coach up that defensive line. I pray Jalen Smith, he's attending the rookie mini camp in a few weeks. So all eyes are on Jalen Smith and that knee, and as long as he has no setbacks, I'm feeling great about that because we're talking about all the draft picks we got, but if Jalen Smith comes in there and is any kind of the player that he was, that is taking our defense. And then I like Damian Wilson. I like Hitchens, but I really like Damian Wilson. This is year 3 with him for Minnesota. I was on him last year. This is year 3. He's a great blitzer. He's got speed off the edge. The only problem with him, I was telling you, he overruns the plays a little bit because he's so aggressive. But if you have a Damian Wilson, a Sean Lee, and a Jalen Smith,
right, that automatically makes Damian Wilson better.
That makes Damian Wilson better. And then you come on the back end, and then we find out who's starting on those corners because it's going to be fierce competition. So we don't even know who's starting because the competition will be crazy.
So we got all our guys from this draft, and then you throw in Tapper and Smith. I mean, they're basically draft picks for this season too. So we're going to see a whole transformed defense next season.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
I mean,
it can't get much worse than it was.
No, you can't. And like I said,
still had a middle of the road run defense.
Now we have playmakers.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that bad. I'm just saying.
We needed pass help on the defense from the defensive backs. I think we got some covered corners help.
This is the thing I look at. If you look at where Ron Marinelli took over, we had the last ranked defense with the old guy, Monty Kiffin. We had the last ranked defense. He made us 14th the next year, and we had nothing. We had no players. But do you remember how all those turnovers we had the next year? It was like the first time in forever we had that many turnovers, so we weren't getting a lot of sacks, but we were creating turnovers, and that's why everybody was excited about Marinelli, because Marinelli is not really about blitzing all the time. He's about that front four pressure. He's about playing zone coverage, but he's about playing sound football, good tackling, and turnovers. Yep. That's what he's about. And if you look at what we drafted tacklers, we drafted people who can create turnovers, playmakers, and he also got versatile people who can stay in different spots and not be pigeonholed right there. And that's what you're going to see us this year. And I'm telling you, please, Lord Almighty, let Jalen Smith be 100% healthy because I love that dude.
Will said replace Jalen and Jacoby. Yep, bring it on. Tell whoever needs to make that happen, bring it on.
What did he say?
He said Dallas, we should replace Jalen and Jacoby. Go right ahead. let me know how to make that happen. That's the goal. That's the goal.
What's that?
To replace Jalen and Jacoby.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but
like the only way that's going to happen is if you guys keep tuning in to SilverBlueNation.com every week to Facebook, viewing it, sharing it.
Right.
Get us out there. Ryan Dye, see you again.
Right.
He's here again. That's the boy.
Right. So G, we already gave our draft. I gave the Cowboys a B+. JK gave Dallas what, a B?
This is a B. Yep.
What are you giving? I know you're probably going to give it A.
I'm going to give us an A, yeah.
Why are you going to give us an A?
I'm just happy because we filled the needs. I mean, that's the most important thing, and we got guys that were probably higher on the draft boards than where they were picked. So I think we got great value at just about every pick.
Mine's a B pending the extra credit being turned in.
And then
once I get to see a couple games, see where they're at, it's probably going to end up being an A for sure.
But I'm saying based on right now what we know. So, and then throw in last year's picks, combine with this year's, and the sky's the limit.
I mean, if you look at our last 4 or 5 drafts, they've been very good drafts. I mean, if you look at our roster, I think quite a few of the players are still kind of with us. The core players that we drafted are still with us. So the thinking is just like it's always been, just like what you see the Seattles and you're seeing the Patriots and you're seeing those guys. You have to replenish through the draft. Look at Seattle. They were super aggressive in that draft, trading down, loading up on players. You know why they're doing that? Because some of these guys are going to get older. They're not going to be able to play some of those players. So let's groom these other guys. So as soon as you want more money, we got somebody to slide you right in and you can go right on out the building. And that's what you have to do nowadays. If you don't build your team that way, you will not win. You will not stay consistently winning in the NFL if you do not build with those young players, keep your core players. You're not going to win by buying your team, but with free agents.
Jason Garrett needs to look up to, over in Boston or Foxborough, Massachusetts, and kind of take some ideas from there about how to build.
I feel like
Jerry Jones has been doing that lately. I think by, like you said, building with the draft, keeping these players while they're cheap, and then not overpaying for people once we have them for 3 or 4 years. I think that's helping. That's making a big difference on our roster right now. And I think
we're
that's
still in some trouble money wise from previous moves Jerry has made. So we're still recovering.
And that's why they're not trying to restructure.
But we're in the right direction.
All these bad contracts with people that their contracts are almost up. 1 or 2 years. They're not restructuring. Just pay them now. Let's not get hit with this 3-4 years down the road.
Building the way we have been, at some point we're going to have a very nice salary cap, and everything's going to be smooth.
Because Romo's salary is going to fall off.
Yep.
That was a huge salary.
Doug Free's
got the
retired reserve list.
So if you look at the last big contract we signed was Brandon Carr.
Yeah.
He was the last big overpaid contract.
And Brandon Carr, I say we overpaid for him. He started every single game he played for us, but he just wasn't productive.
He wasn't
very productive, but he wasn't a liability.
We talked about this before, I think, last year, me and James did. If he was getting paid a lot less, we would think he was
right.
When he was getting when Carr was getting the $10 million a year, we hated him. When he took the pay cut, we're like, okay, you ain't that bad because you're not worth $10 million.
So
we're not. If somebody catches a pass on you and you're making $5 million, it's okay. But if you're making $10 million and he catches that pass on you, I'm mad at you because you're not supposed to catch that pass on you when you're making $10 million a year. No, you're not. So at the end of the day, like I said, Stephen Jones, I think, really took over this. Jerry is the man, but Stephen Jones is going to keep that theory of we're going to stay young. We're going to stay with our own players. We're going to build our own players. We're going to just keep our core, and we're not going to stray from that no matter what. We are not going to deviate from that, and that's what's going to keep us competitive every single year because we can always keep on recycling players because we're not going to overpay for you. That's why Church didn't get no money. That's why these other guys didn't get the money. Stephen Jones said it time and time again. We're not going to pay you guys when you guys are just doing regular numbers. We're not going to overpay you. It's going to hurt us. So if we would have overpaid for, let's say, Barry Church, now that hurts us as far as getting other players because why would we pay you that money? Now we don't have money to sprinkle it to the other guys. And even though Barry Church is good, you weren't making those game-changing plays that we needed when we needed get guys off the field. Great sound player, but we need playmakers now.
Yeah.
Done. I didn't know he was done. I don't want to interrupt him. I'm sorry.
Sorry. I can't help it, guys. We're talking football. Let's talk.
Well, with everything that you just said, give Jason Garrett a chance, man. How about them Cowboys?
How about them guys? He's still my coach. He still will be my coach. I can be angry about it.
The Tyron Crawford contract, he signed a big contract. He hasn't really had the numbers to justify the contract. I, for one, when we got Crawford out of Boise State, I really liked him, and I think he's still a good player, but I just feel like he's topped it. He's hit his level. He's not going to get any better. I think he's just going to be this player. Now, this is who Tyron Crawford is. But do we keep him after that contract runs out? I don't know now. I don't think
he's one of those players that they haven't restructured because of that reason. We're probably going to let him go instead of overpaying him. Skandrick, I think he's just on his way out and unfortunately going to be phased out by some of these young Thundercats that are going to come in here and hopefully
we might see a surprise cut. We might see we will. With all the depth that we have right now.
For me, I would be so surprised if they cut Skandrick and kept Carroll or something like that. It would just blow my mind. I would definitely want Skandrick over Carroll.
For contract reasons, I guess that would make sense.
I can see that
if we can really look at it, Skandrick has made a lot of money with the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
He's made a lot of money. He got his contract renegotiated, and Stephen Jones said he wasn't going to do it, and they still renegotiated his contract and signed him for some more money.
Traded Jenkins away.
He's kind of been a little bit of a pest since we've had him. He's got that feisty attitude.
He's a feisty dude,
and he shows those glimpses of just being an absolute, elite quarterback in the NFL, and then he gets hurt. And then he comes in and plays.
I don't think any teams were interested in him when it came to the trade.
I don't think people were either. I think that's why they didn't bite.
The injury, the age. I think he's around
30 years old.
They were fishing around for probably another third round, probably trying to get up and get.
They're probably thinking
Douglas or somebody like that we missed on.
I think if they would have said, well, if you had a fifth for Skandrick, somebody would have did it. But nobody's giving up a third.
The way it goes now in the NFL.
Yeah, nobody's giving up a third for a 30-year-old cornerback who just came off Achilles injury and had missed He missed 5-6 games last year.
Yeah.
They're not going to pay a third rounder for that. That's that doesn't make any sense. So that's why you're seeing him not get that money. But why is everybody wanting to cut him? Everybody's saying gone. I want to keep Skandrick on the roster because he's still a decent corner. He still can bring an edge to our younger guys. He still can teach our younger. We need a mentorship too.
It's going to come down to what we said about Brandon Carr with the money.
Right.
Is he going to be
That's why it
worth
could be strictly be a business move.
Nobody's going to want that contract he has either.
No, and that's why nobody wants Tyrone Crawford either.
Yeah.
Nobody wants his money.
Will Butler say he in love with them dancers and that Molly too. So you know what I mean. So
who, Zeke and Bosa?
No.
Oh, what?
Skandrick with that Molly.
Oh, huh?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, you popping the Mollies. You know what I mean?
He got busted on the test.
He got busted for that. So that's something in there too. But I'm not for one wanting to get rid of Skandrick. We still want to have a veteran back there, and I'd rather have a veteran of Skandrick over than a veteran of Nolan Carroll. Yeah. Sorry, I'll take Skandrick all day.
I think
with that.
Carroll's a bum. I'm sorry. Carroll just destroyed him.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's ever going to forget what Dez did to him, and I think
that's
probably
all
Dez,
I can see it. I'm like, we
Dez is probably
Dez's
telling him,
size.
and Dez is probably telling him that in the locker room.
Oh, he's got.
Put his leash up on the rack. Give him a bowl of water. Take him to the groomer. Walk him again.
So I'm asking all these Cowboy fans. Y'all asked us for ratings. We're gonna still talk about these players. Y'all throw out y'all ratings and give me honest ratings. Don't just give me ratings all A pluses. I don't think we had an A+ draft. You got to have those guys get on the field first. But I want to hear some of y'all guys is out there. How these Cowboy fans, what y'all think? What some of y'all grades for this draft? Some of y'all grades out there, and kind of what y'all think. Who do y'all think was our best player we drafted in our draft? Who you think is going to be our #1 impact player in our draft?
We discussed ours. Why don't you guys tell us some of yours, and we'll kind of go through them.
I mean, Floyd Jr. Personally, I like Woods. I like Uzi. But for some reason, I don't know. Maybe I just might be that person, but I just love this kid Woods. I don't know why I keep going back to this dude. I wanted him so bad when we went after the Switzer kid. Ask these guys. I was going nuts on the text messages, just dogging the Switzer pick. G was like, "No, I want a receiver. It's a good pick."
That might actually be my favorite pick.
Yeah, G loved the Switzer pick.
It's a good one. The most impact in year one.
Me and G were going back and forth because my thinking was, why spend a 4th rounder on a returner when you could have got Woods in the 4th round and then came right back in the 6th round and you would have got a Switzer, because I don't think Switzer would have got drafted. That was just my opinion, that high by anybody else. So that's why I was like, why would you spend a 4th rounder when we did not have a 5th and we had to go to a 6th, and you could possibly miss out on a Woods? So we got lucky and we're able to trade up, but that's my problem with it. But we end up getting Woods, and so I was happy with getting a returner in Switzer. But I love this kid Woods. I believe if he gets on the field and actually gets some really good time, I think he's going to be a playmaker in our defense, and I think he might be the playmaker that we need as far as getting those INTs. Because if you look at his tape, like I said, 14 picks is 14 picks. And when you're returning those back for touchdowns, you're not just getting the interception, you're returning back for touchdowns too.
And like we said earlier, they're
Xavier
great
Woods,
value
your final
picks.
answer?
Great value picks.
We're looking at Xavier Woods.
This dude, man, he just won't leave me alone, man.
For what?
All right, I'm done.
I'm
done. I'm done.
Yeah, let him go.
JK got it. I'm done. Cowboys fans, I'm done.
We'll wait.
Come on, JK, talk.
I'll take Jordan Lewis for $300, Alex.
No,
I like Jordan, the Jordan Lewis pick or the Uzi pick. I think
I love Jordan Lewis.
I like Jordan falling down to us because I think he's a really, really good. I think he's probably the best cover corner out of the ones we picked up. I think he's got the best cover skills. I hope he can play. Like I said, I hope the legal stuff doesn't happen. But I like the Uzi pick a lot too. I think he's a big-bodied DB that we needed to handle the big receivers in our division. So it's between those two. I think those are very, very good picks.
What about you, G?
What?
Is it just Switzer, or do you like anybody else?
No, I like them all, man.
Woods is a beast,
Marquez White, I like how long he looks. I mean, what is he, 6'1"?
He's about 6 foot, about 195.
He's a little taller than the other guy.
He's got really long arms though.
But yeah, I mean, he looks kind of long and rangy, so I'm excited to maybe see a little bit of size there at corner. And I'm just excited to see new guys like, young, fast, just active guys that pursue the ball. I can't wait.
And I mean, looking at a lot of the Cowboy fans on here, a lot of people are liking Uzi. A lot of people are liking Woods. A lot of people are liking the Woods pick and Switzer. A lot of people are in love with Switzer. Don't hear a lot of people talking about Lewis, but I see a lot of people on Woods, Switzer, and Uzi as our top picks there.
Those are all good picks.
Those are all really good picks for us.
Who was that in there? I saw it was Dustin. So we probably should have gone with an offensive tackle instead of a wide receiver. I kind of like the Noah Brown pick, and I think we'll find an undrafted free agent offensive lineman or something.
I do agree with Dustin on that one myself. I thought we did need to get another tackle, but we do got Chaz Green and Byron Bell. I mean,
Lyle Collins coming back.
They must have really liked what they got out of Chaz Green.
Yeah, I think so too.
But Jonathan Cooper and Byron Bell are going to be decent little plugins too. Like I don't think they was worried about that. And
yeah,
I think that's why
the other guys make them better.
I think they went into them. I think the main reason why, if you look at the Cowboys, why we went with the Byron Bell and the Jonathan Cooper, because I think they wanted to address that now, so they wouldn't have to worry about doing that need in the draft.
Yeah, that's exactly why.
And we could focus strictly on defense, and we could have that base covered. Because say we didn't get those guys, then we would have had to get some offensive tackles in the draft. We would have had to, and then we would have missed out maybe on some defensive players, and maybe took another process, because you at this point in time, those guys were looking at this is one of the deepest defensive drafts as far as ends and corners. So let's go ahead and get these guys in free agency now, so we can just strictly hit defense, and that's what they did, and that's what I love what Dallas did. They stayed true to the board. They stayed true to what they were going to do. We needed cornerback help. We lost four guys in the secondary. We come back with 4 guys.
And last week we talked about Rico Gathers and his confidence. Mm-hmm. Well, another sign of confidence, they don't draft a tight end.
Right.
So that just lets you know how they feel about
praising Gathers a little bit there.
So that's back-to-back weeks. I mean, getting pumped up about Rico Gathers.
Dustin's asking good questions. I think
me and Dustin talked about that. Why didn't we get Boulware? Dustin, I agree with you. I was talking about this off air to the guys before we started the show.
Him up on draft.
Somebody got him. I can't remember who got him. Somebody picked up Boulware. Because that's a player who just plays. He's a football player. And he wouldn't be good with us because you don't have to start for us. Right. But you can come off the bench and make flash plays, and that's what we need, flash plays, because we're going to be solidified with the linebackers we have.
I want to go off topic for like 2 seconds.
All right, 2.
Who had the absolute worst draft in the NFL?
Honestly, I don't know myself because I did not look over every pick yet. I haven't had a chance yet.
I didn't like the Bears draft.
The Bears was pretty bad.
I didn't like the Bears
Chiefs.
draft.
I think the Chiefs might have reached a little bit for Mahomes.
If Trubisky's good, though, it'll be a good draft.
That's a big if.
They moved up one spot.
I was looking,
that's a lot.
I was looking at the tape, and man, if he couldn't beat out that Williams kid, and that Williams kid was erratic, and he couldn't beat out him, that just mind-boggling. You couldn't beat out that guy.
Because he sat behind him for like 2 or 3 years.
He sat behind him for 2 years, and that kid Williams was erratic as far as a quarterback. He's nowhere. He's not playing anywhere, and you couldn't beat him out. So how are you going to come into the NFL and play against all-pro players, and you couldn't do it in college? That's my only red flag with him.
I mean, the thing they've got,
Bears,
they got Glennon.
Ravens.
They got Glennon, so they'll at least have a year or 2.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who had the worst draft.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the Bears right now. They're kind of suspect. But there was a lot of. But if you look at a lot of teams that were in this draft, there was a lot of teams that had good drafts because it was so deep this year.
Yeah,
there was a lot of good players in this NFL draft.
Who do you think had the best?
I know the Niners did good. They had a good draft.
I'm gonna give it to the Browns.
Browns had a really good draft.
I think they wasted a pick on Peppers.
I like how they got their quarterback in the second round. That right there gave it to them for me.
I think Kaiser is not going to be good.
I think he's going to be good.
I don't think he'll
we'll
be good.
See. And I'm telling you, in our division, I think Washington had a good draft.
Getting Jonathan Allen.
And then who else did they get? A corner, or they got a corner too? I believe
it was one of the dudes we were talking about. I can't remember who
we were talking about getting, because Washington always infiltrates us.
And as much, I don't even want to. The Sheagles had they drafted some players that we liked. Yeah. Let's just put it that way.
Shane said Bengals had a great value draft. They actually, now that I think about it,
Mixon.
might be one of the worst drafts for me.
Really? They got Ross and Mixon?
I don't think they needed Mixon there. You got Jeremy Hill and Giovanni Bernard.
Jeremy Hill cannot carry the ball.
There.
He fumbles way too much.
I don't. And
if Jeremy Hill was a free agent, we didn't have a running back, I would not want him on my team.
And he's inconsistent.
He's really good, but man, he fumbles a lot in key times. Ask a Bengals fan about it.
Considering they already have a crowded backfield.
Yeah,
and that was a second-round pick. I mean, he probably would have.
I think Gio's getting hurt, and I don't know. I don't think they trust Jeremy Hill. Honestly,
I just think when you have Jeremy Hill and Giovanni Bernard on your football team, you can address another need.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I agree.
I think they need. I think they could have had Malik Hooker
and all that controversy surrounding him.
Yeah, that's
like that. And they always grab wide receivers and tight ends. And why aren't they addressing their defense? So the Bengals for me might be the worst.
I also like Tampa's draft. Them getting O.J. Howard.
Yeah, anybody that got him.
First of all, I'm glad they got O.J. Howard because I did not want them Giants. getting OJ
I
Howard.
laughed when the Giants moved up and they got.
Yes,
I'm
and
like,
they got from Ole Miss. I'm
why-
cool with him. I'm cool with him. I'm
They
not
took
worried
him
about
over
him. Yes.
Njoku
Texans,
and
yep.
Yes.
Texans had a good draft.
Yes, I'm cool with that. So I'm glad they made that move yesterday. I think
Texans
the Texans had a good
all
draft,
right.
but we'll see.
We'll see how Watson does.
We'll see what Watson does. I mean, he's on the program now.
They
I wonder if they're
played the
looking-
draft
They
well
picked
to move
up
up
the
and get
Texas
that one
running
stuff.
back too.
Oh yeah,
Devontae
Devontae Foreman.
Was
I
it
think he
Freeman,
might be
whatever.
pretty good.
He's a freaking bowling ball.
Yeah, I think
he
he's
is.
going to be pretty good.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Dustin. I'm glad the Giants they didn't have a good draft. I think the Eagles had a good draft. I think Washington's was pretty decent, but the Giants, I don't know what they were doing. They're getting David Webb. I don't see him being the franchise future behind Eli Manning. But if they want to say that from Cal, okay.
I understand them getting a tight end to go with that. I mean, they have one of the best three-man receiving corps in the NFL. The Giants do. I can see them getting a tight end, but why wasn't O.J. Howard still there?
Yes. No.
He was gone, but
Tampa
they didn't
snacked
take
him up.
Njoku. That's
But they
what
didn't
they
take
took him over
Njoku.
Njoku, and that
Njoku would have been nasty with the Giants defense.
I'm glad
One
that
the Browns grabbed.
yeah, the dude
Yes.
from Miami. I
Yes.
think he's got Jimmy Graham type potential. I think he to compare him to another Miami tight
Yeah.
end. I think he's going to be a nice athlete.
The guy the Giants got from Ole Miss, he just looked real small.
yeah,
Like,
he was
not-
like
not-
6'3",
he looked
240
tall,
or 50.
But
he was
he didn't look thick and big. He looked like a wide receiver.
Who are you talking about?
The guy, the tight end from Ole Miss for the Giants.
Oh yeah, they say he's like a glorified big receiver.
That was probably an Eli influence.
Hey, I'm glad it was
Alma mater.
influenced because I'm not fearing him like I would have been fearing about a Howard.
I'm not worried about the
Broncos picking
Giants.
up
They got Eli.
Chad Kelly in the last Mr. Irrelevant picks. Pretty. I mean, he might end up playing for them. The kid out of
I know last draft pick.
yeah, Jim Kelly's nephew. I think he ended up being pretty good. We'll see. That'd be a cool one to watch.
We're gonna see. But like I said, fellas, all the Cowboys fans out there, probably we're about to wind down. Probably got like 10 minutes left. I don't know about y'all, but as we said, this was a tremendous draft for us.
Good draft.
Super excited
Well done.
because I just know that I like Ron Marinelli as a coach. I think he's going to coach up all these players. I think the only thing that really stops us as far as where we want to go will be injuries. As long as we stay relatively healthy like we did last year and we don't have the major injuries to like one of our core players, like Dez can get hurt for us now. Before I didn't think Dez could get hurt for us,
Right.
but now Dez can get hurt
that.
for us because we have a quarterback. Not saying Romo wasn't quarterback, but we have an athletic quarterback who can get out the pocket, and we got a great young running back.
We got a little bit of a running back and a little bit of a running game that'll help
So-
out with that too.
The rookie mini camp start up in the coming days, right?
I think it's like first week of May. You have a choice, May 3rd through 5th or like 12th through 15th. You can do one or the other, I think. So I think we
So
usually
we're
take
going to
it.
see Tapper and
We're getting
Jalen
ready to
Smith.
start
I would
rookie
bet we
mini
take the
camps,
early one because of the Hall of Fame game.
OTAs, preseason.
That's I think mid-July. We're looking
You
at
realize
actual
that we
training
are
camp.
3 months away from preseason.
And it's right around the corner. I love it. But have you also heard that Jalen Smith is when he's been working out, he's not been using that brace?
Have you
I'd
heard?
rather him just
have
keep
you
it on
heard?
for a while.
He's coming in
till the
swiping,
season
man.
starts.
I can't wait.
I just want to see the swipe. I don't know about y'all Cowboys fans, but as great as this defense that we got, if Jalen Smith, please, Lord Almighty, baby Jesus,
get
if Jalen
healthy.
Smith comes and does what he does, him and Sean Lee are, I'm telling you, him, Sean Lee, and Damian Wilson, that's a good linebacking core.
Can you
That's a
imagine
good
what Rod
linebacking
Marinelli's
core right
sitting
there.
at home doing right now, just cooking up all these schemes with all these young quick defensive backs, all these different defensive linemen he can rotate in.
Now-
the potential to have Byron Jones playing strong or free safety,
Or can slide
Really,
in as a
you
corner
can
when you
just
need him.
cover, You can cover all disguise all your coverages with them because almost
they're
everybody they drafted can
interchangeable.
play at
They're
every position.
Exactly. And
He's going to have fun with that.
he's going to have a lot of fun. And you see what Linehan is always having fun with. You see how much fun he had with that offense last year. And now he's got year 2 with you guys.
Dak's getting a little smarter. They trust him a little more. Watch him open up the playbook a little bit. You're going to see more downfield throws.
Exactly.
You're going to see Zeke push that 2,000-yard rushing mark because I think
Exactly.
he's an animal. If he's able to run behind Lyle Collins, that adds a lot more yards for me too. Because I think that's.
And I think the players that we have is going to make Marinelli get a little more aggressive because if you look toward the end of the year, we started heavily blitzing in spots that we weren't doing anymore, and it was very successful. Now you see Marinelli. I'm telling you, Uzi coming off that edge as a slot blitzer is going to be huge. He's going to take Scandry's spot, and he's going to be that slot blitzer, and he's going to have about 2 or 3 sacks off that edge. Uzi is. I'm already
I can see
called
him
that one right there.
Sending Anthony coming off the edge too. Anthony Brown with his 4.3 speed. I can see them sending him and leaving the other. We have cover corners. Hopefully, I want to see these guys pan out. I mean, this is This is big. If
And
we miss on half of these guys, that's going to hurt.
Switzer's going to come in and be that Switz Army knife. He's going to do handoffs.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to do screens, like we said earlier.
Yep.
They're going to have special packages specifically for him.
He can throw the ball too. I think there was 2 or 3 instances where he threw touchdown passes.
He just added a playmaker. I mean,
We've got ourselves a Julian Edelman. I think that's exactly what they were looking for, was somebody who played high school quarterback, somebody who has the ability to play wide receiver, kick return.
Multiple positions.
I bet if you asked Ryan Switzer to do it, he could play DB.
Multiple positions.
I feel like we're following that Patriots. We're trying to win Super Bowls like the Patriots are right now. We're following their game plan. We just got Julian Edelman.
well, right now, the right tackle, Dustin, and someone else asked about it, Russell. It's going to be Byron Bell or Chaz Green.
I think they're really fringing their hopes on Chaz Green.
They want Chaz Green.
I think that's the one they want him there. The only reason why Chaz Green is not starting at right tackle because of injuries. That's the only reason why he has not started at our right tackle.
And Lyle
if
Collins
he
will
can
be
finally stay healthy, they're going to have Chaz Green at right tackle. Lyle Collins is going to go right back to
right
guard.
back to left guard.
Stephen Jones has said time and time again they do not want to move Collins from there, because remember when we drafted Zach Martin, he played a little bit of tackle. He didn't play. He played center. He played other positions besides guard. But once they solidified him at guard, they were like, we're not moving him.
He's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere. And I think they want to do the same thing with Collins and hope Chaz Green stay healthy. And, Byron Bell, he could probably kick out there. They have other guys that can do it because you can move a Cooper in there too. I think they really don't want to put Collins out there.
Can you imagine being Zeke running off that left side of the line with Tyron Smith, Lyle Collins? Oh, my God. Trevor Frederick. I mean, he should be 20 yards of play running off the left side. Should be unstoppable.
Floyd Hope Jr., Chaz is ready. I think Chaz is ready. It's just his health. The only thing that stopped Chaz Green is health. He proved to me in those games when Tyron Smith went out and was hurt with his bad back and he came in, he played good. He didn't do anything to hurt his position.
I saw a lot of penalties, though.
He did have a lot of some penalties.
As free?
But
yeah.
Ooh.
I think Green had quite a bit. We'll have to look that up.
I have to look it up.
I could be wrong, but
I'm pretty sure. I don't remember why, but I remember
Green
Chaz
having
slipping. And I was picking him up last year,
penalties.
and remember it was a good pickup. I don't remember why he slipped. I think it was just
third round was when we
I
got
think
him.
honestly the reason why he slipped because he was injured at Florida the whole time.
Well,
that's why.
Then here we go.
That's why he slipped because he was injured and he's injured now. So I don't know, but you remember Sean Lee? He was injured. We kept on wondering when Sean Lee ever going to get healthy, and he's had 2 back-to-back years where he's been healthy. And now, funny, we're not talking about Sean Lee being hurt every year because we used to talk about that every year. Yep. Is Sean Lee going to be finally healthy?
It's been 1 year. Let's rein that back a little bit. Let's hope for another one.
Well, I'm just saying, he's had 2 good years. I mean, the year before that,
he was still injured, but let's get him there. I want that more than anything.
Yeah,
I love Sean Lee.
So yeah, we're gonna see. But to me, another successful draft for the Cowboys. We're super excited. G, I know you excited. I'm excited. Cowboy fans, Cowboy Nation should be excited.
How about them?
Can't wait till rookie mini camps. Can't wait till training camp. OTAs. It's just going to be ridiculous. We're trying to get out there to actually get out there and see. I know I am. I'm trying to get out there and see my family. So if I'm getting out there, I'm trying to get one of these training camps and do some Facebook Lives out there so you guys can see it. We're definitely going to be at that Hall of Fame game. So all you fans out there are going to that Hall of Fame game. Make sure out there because the Silver Blue Nation is going to be out there repping and rocking hard. We're going to be out there. Y'all jump on the TV. Y'all jump on the Facebook Live so we can just have fun. But we're definitely going to make this happen, getting this even more exciting as the season progresses and that season is here. So
hey, let's play the Drew Pearson one last time.
We're gonna play it.
We're gonna sit here for 4 minutes before we sign off.
We'll finish with that. We'll leave
play it out with that.
We're gonna play it out with that. So, Cowboys fans, once again, we appreciate y'all. We love all the Cowboy fans that tune in. We love all of y'all out there. We appreciate y'all liking the page. We appreciate
share it
interjecting with us on the Facebook Live. We love all y'all. I love all the comments that come in.
Love seeing these repeat names on there.
Yes, the repeat names. The Cowboys minds. A couple of y'all tripped me up on some stuff. Yeah. I think Willie. So one guy on here, he got me on the lesson more. I think he said we went to the Chargers. He got me on that one.
But that's okay. We missed that.
That's all right. I'm not looking at the internet.
I'm not perfect.
I'm not looking at the internet.
Hey, we're all just fans here.
So,
we're the voice of the fans.
We're just sitting in our mom's basement talking on a TV.
Everybody, all the fans
But
are
at
here,
the end of the day, I love the interjection because, fans, they know stuff like we know, and it just so I love all y'all. Keep tuning in.
Thanks, Ryan.
Keep tuning in.
Yeah, keep tuning
Got
in.
Mad love for everybody here. It's y'all just.
Thanks, Shane. I know I've seen you before too.
Pretty much all the Cowboys fans that tune in to us
Shane's
are amazing.
a Buckeye fan too, so he's
and
good.
I just want to give y'all props 100% for just being
Thanks,
fans
Ron.
for us. So
Anybody else sad that Shakrita didn't come back this week?
yes, we were waiting for Shakrita.
Wait,
Did they have a good
Shakrita?
draft?
Forgot
Did the
about
Saints
it.
have a good draft?
She must have forgot
They
about
did.
it.
The Saints had a pretty good draft, didn't they?
Yeah.
We were waiting for you,
They
Shakrita.
got, who did they get? Lattimore in the first round?
Yep.
Yeah, the Saints had a
They
pretty
got a
good
good
draft.
running back later on, too.
Yeah, so, but Sale, we're going to get ready to end it off with the Drew Pearson. We played it a couple times, but who cares? Who can get enough of that?
Make
But-
sure you check it out.
Appreciate it, Dustin.
SilverBlueNation.com,
Thanks, Floyd.
SBNation17 on the Twitter. Get the YouTube. Subscribe to the videos.
Yeah, if you go to
Big Game
YouTube,
James.
you'll get
Or
our
JK.
weekly updates.
Yeah, I'm Big Game James.
Producer G.
JK.
And
Check
we're
it
going
out.
to tune in, listen to Drew Pearson once again. We love all y'all because without y'all, we ain't here. So we love y'all. Tune in next week. We
How
out.
about them
How about them
Cowboys?
Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys?
To announce the Dallas Cowboys selection, please welcome the University of Tulsa wide receiver Drew Pearson.
All right. How about them Cowboys? I want to thank the Eagle fans for allowing me to have a career in the NFL. Thank you. I am honored as an undrafted free agent to be selected to make the Cowboys second-round draft pick. And on behalf of the 5